Welcome to City TV Live. This is the place to be if you want to know what really happens behind the scenes at every home game. Today we're live on YouTube for the very first time, so hello to you if you're watching that way. In the meantime though, the team are right here at the ground, so let's cut to our cameras over in West Reception. Well, after that impressive performance in Paris midweek, the players arrived looking to replicate that form back in the league. Now, the big question, just how much will Manuel Pellegrini rotate the squad this afternoon, bearing in mind that second leg against PSG is only a few days away. We know that David Silva is out today with an ankle injury, and he joins Vincent Kompany and Raheem Sterling out on the sidelines. Better news though, Yaya Toure, he could be back. He's missed the last two games with a knee problem, and there he is now, but we know that he is available, so will it be a starting place for him? Also, Samir Nasri, as you can see, we're expecting a start for him. He of course came off the bench last week against Bournemouth, and in Pellegrini's words, he will probably feature in the starting 11. Now, as you can see, Sergio Aguero today could be his 200th game, a big milestone for him. I've been told that my colleague Natalie has managed to grab a quick word with Fabian Delph.
Fabian, first of all, it's wonderful to see you back. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I feel great. Haven't been the best of years for me in terms of injuries, but finally over the last one, so raring to go.
It was obviously a huge game midweek. We've got another huge game coming up, but how important do you think it is that we focus firstly on today's game? Yeah,
today's game's more important at the moment. Get over the line here and then we can look for the game Tuesday.
And do you think it's any different playing a team that is practically sort of safe and not playing for too much anymore? Do you think it's sort of any difference in that?
I'm not sure, but we've got to look at ourselves. We have a game plan, we know what we need to do, and sure we can do that today.
Thank you very much and good luck.
All right, well, you've just been hearing there the pre-match thoughts of Fabian Delph. Ali Man, good to have you back with us on City TV Live. We just got the starting 11, haven't we? Can you read that to us, please?
Yeah, City are Hart, Zabaleta, Otamendi, Mangala, Kolarov, Navas, Fernando, Delph, Nasri, Boni and Aguero. So I make that 5 changes from Paris Saint-Germain. The likes of Kevin De Bruyne and, well, Yaya Toure back fit again, he's on the bench. So it looks like a strong 11. Samir Nasri's first start since August, so that's part of his rehabilitation. Of course, he's not available for the Champions League. So I think, you know, it's a good balance because you've got 5 rested, ready for the game against Paris, but equally, it's a very strong looking 11, isn't it?
Thoughts on, in particular, getting Nasri back in the starting 11, just how big is that, given the injuries that we've had?
Well, it's like literally like a new signing because, like I say, August, the last time he started a match. Obviously, he's not available for the Champions League, but there's still enough in the Premier League still to go at. So you're thinking to yourself, well, if he can, you know, City all being well, progress in the Champions League, he can pick Nasri from the start in the Premier League games, give people like De Bruyne a rest on the, you know, on the bench in reserve, and Nasri is literally fresh. He's full of, you know, wanting to make up for lost time. It's a huge addition, huge addition.
How do you see it going today? We certainly have an impressive record against West Brom, don't we?
Well, City got a great record against West Brom, and I've seen West Brom a lot this season, and they've got one plan. They put 10 players behind the ball. They're absolutely brilliant on set pieces. They'll look to nick a goal. If City score twice today, they'll win. It's as simple as that for me. And are they capable of doing that? Well, absolutely. Can I see it going any other way? Well, obviously things can go wrong, but provided City play to any kind of level that, for example, they did against Bournemouth and the level they did against Paris Saint-Germain, I can't see this being too much of a problem, but football's a funny game. You can't predict it that easily. But no, West Brom will come here and defend. They'll say to City, break us down if you can. City will have to be patient. The crowd will have to be patient. But once that first goal goes in, for me, it's game over.
Either way, though, we're running out of games now at this point in the season. We have to win today, don't we, to put pressure on those teams around us?
Yeah, I mean, Manuel Pellegrini is still talking about the possibility of winning the league. I mean, I can't see it, not because I don't think City can't win every game from now to the end of the season, but in reality, I can't see Leicester dropping that many points that they're going to let City in. So what we're talking about is a top 4 finish minimum, top 3 ideally. So by winning the majority of their games from now to the end of the season, they will get top 3, I think. first things first, win today. Obviously West Ham and Arsenal have already dropped points by drawing with each other. United are playing Spurs tomorrow, so there's a fantastic opportunity for City. Win today, pressure's off a little bit, and also there's a bit of pressure on Arsenal above them to maybe get that third spot. I'm confident City will get top 3, but the longer it goes on with those breathing down the neck, the more nervous you get about it.
Well, of course, it's been a huge week for us, hasn't it, in Europe? What did you think about that game against PSG?
Well, I've done a lot of commentary on Paris Saint-Germain this season. I've commentated on them a few times in the French League and a few times in the Champions League. Nothing they did on Wednesday night surprised me. They're a very poor team at the back. You know, all those players who play at the back for Paris Saint-Germain are better coming forward and not as good in retreat. What we saw was City exploiting a lot of weaknesses that Paris Saint-Germain have got. What I was disappointed about was, unfortunately, Paris were able to take advantage of 1 or 2 City lapses. Of course, that Fernando error you can't legislate for. But what I will say is it could be 2 or 3 all here on Tuesday night. And I think that's the thing you've got to guard against. Their front 6 are fabulous. And as I say, their defenders are comfortable coming forward with the ball. So it's going to be an open game. It's going to be an attacking game. I think City will come out on top over the 2 legs, but don't be surprised if there's a few scares along the way, because I think Paris will score here on Tuesday.
All right, well, that's the thoughts of Ali Man. Let's get the thoughts of the fans. We spoke to a few earlier outside the grounds. Well, Ross, it was a fantastic night for us in Paris. What were your thoughts on that game?
It was a great result, 2-2 away from home. It's like a 3-2 win. Tactics were played perfect.
Yeah, I thought we played really well. I thought we were solid. Obviously there was a problem through the middle. Ball coming over the top for Ibrahimovic, obvious problem for us because everything seems to go through the middle. But I thought City played really well. I thought Fernando played really well, and I thought we looked pretty solid in the middle of the pitch.
A fantastic penalty save. I mean, it's becoming a bit of a habit, particularly in Champions League games for Joe Hart. And let's say if you see the other keeper, Caballero, in the other cup final, his penalty saves is a habit really for City, full stop. So I think we do really, really well.
I was a bit apprehensive, to be honest. It was back and forth. Thought Paris played quite well. City were getting in it, a few mistakes. I think they've grown massively in stature over that leg.
It was a really good game, and I'm looking forward to the next one. It seemed like they have a good chance, Manchester, so it was an exciting game.
Kevin coming back into the squad is a big change for us as well. It's just a fantastic result, fantastic.
Really enjoyed the game. Started off, I think, pretty steady. I say we got that away goal, and I thought we were doing really well up to then. A little bit of a mistake there at the back from Fernando, but second half we brought it all back. Say 2-2, 2 away goals. Absolutely fantastic. Sets us up ready for Tuesday next week.
I thought they played really well, but Paris played as well, but I reckon City will come back again and do it again.
Absolutely great result, and I think we're going to do it.
But you say we're going to do it. Score predictions? Can you give me a score prediction?
On Wednesday night, I think we are going to win 2-1.
I think 2-1 as well.
2-1
Absolutely.
to go through.
It's got to be a City win. I'm going for 2-1. 2-1 all the way. Aguero first goal. It's got to be 2-1.
I actually think we'll win 1-0, or I think it'll be a 1-1 draw, but I don't think we're going to get beat.
3-0.
1-0, I think. 1-0.
Oh, the second leg should be, I would imagine it's not going to be that many goals in that. I could imagine it's going to be 1-1, something like that, but hopefully City's going to progress. So
1-1? Who's going to get the goal for us?
Oh, I could imagine it's going to be, it could be an midfielder. I would imagine something like that.
Big Kev.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you.
Come on, City!
Well, we're counting down to kick-off here on City TV Live, and I'm joined by a man of many talents, not only a former rugby player, a cricketer, Sky Sports presenter, and a huge City fan. It's Mike Wedderburn. Mike, it's fantastic to have you on the show.
Thank you very much. Nice to be here.
Another one of your hidden talents is, of course, you're in a band, and you are playing before the game today. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, very exciting. We've played at Reading before, we've played at Chelsea before, but I've managed to get us to the Cathedral of Football. So the guys are really excited. There's 9 of us in the band. There's normally 10, but one of our girl singers has just had a baby, which is selfish because she should be here, but well done to her. Yeah, we're really looking forward to it.
So you're called Jai Funny, that's right, isn't it? What do you play?
I play the keys.
Keys?
And normally I stand at the back and I'm quite quiet, but they've pushed me forward today. So I want everyone to bring extra pairs of underwear, throw them at me and dance. Dad dancing is allowed today.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully we're going to get to see a little bit of your bands later on. Mike, now I know that you've been a City fan for a very long time. You won't give away how long, but how did that all start? Because you're not from Manchester, are you?
No, I'm not. It's a very long and boring story, but the short story is that when I was little and they used to have the results on a Saturday afternoon, I would always look for Manchester City and I would sulk if we lost, or I'd be really happy if we won. So I did a lot of sulking when I was little, but somehow I've stuck with them, and it's just great to be able to come now and watch the boys regularly.
What do you think of the season so far?
Disappointing, I think. I expected better. It's fantastic to have won something. The League Cup was brilliant, and to be there was brilliant, and Willie Caballero is a hero. I always said he should have started. No, I didn't, but brilliant. Disappointing. We should be doing better with the players we have. Let's hope we go a long way in the Champions League. I think Pellegrini's been really unlucky with injuries. When we were in all 4 competitions, he had 14 fit outfield players and he was a bit stuffed, and it's shown really, but hopefully we can finish strongly and at least pip that lot from down the road to the 4th spot.
Well, you mentioned about Champions League, of course, a huge result for us against PSG. How far do you see us going in this competition? Is there that real feeling now that we can go on and progress?
Not if we defend like that, we won't. Great result, crazy game. If we get Vincent back, we'll hopefully keep clean sheets. I think 65% of the time when he plays, we don't concede. When he doesn't play, 25%. So we need him. If he gets fit, then who knows? But there's some really good sides left in the competition.
Well, KDB has spoken today of this game, saying it's about putting pressure on those teams around us now. Do you think that's it for the title? Is it now just about securing top 4? Yeah,
we won't win the title. I'm afraid to say that, and I'm the most optimistic person in the world. We will not win the title. We have got to finish in the top 4. Because if Pep Guardiola comes in, he's a great manager and he's a great draw card, but players want to play in the Champions League, and if they're saying you can only play in the Europa League, we won't get the best. So yeah, we've got to finish in the top 4, and I think we will.
Player of the season for you, who would it be?
Well, he's been injured a lot, but Kevin De Bruyne for me, he's been absolutely fantastic. What a player, and let's wrap him in cotton wool and keep him safe for the rest of the season. Just bring him out on match days, let him run around, then take care of him. What a player.
Thank you very much, Mike. Mine will probably be Ferner, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Fernandinho, you can't beat him. Fantastic. Let's have a listen over in City Square. Let's see who's on.
Richard Edgehill and Peter Barnes are basically standing in the queue to get their bags searched because they're very sinister-looking gentlemen. Hello, both. Nice to see you. I think we've spoken a lot on days after Champions League performance, and we've talked about what might have been and all that sort of stuff. But genuinely, after what we saw on Wednesday night, Peter, I think seeing here that he's given you the microphone, we can say that was a performance of great quality, of great character, and just in the nick of time as well.
Yeah, it was a great performance, and apart from probably 1 or 2 slight mistakes, we won't mention them, but it's still in our own hands, and we've got a great tie next Tuesday, and they are a good side, Paris Saint-Germain, but if you get out the back 4, they're liable to give goals away. So we did play well, and it's not over yet. We're only halfway there, but it should give the lads confidence to go into this game on Tuesday night.
Confidence is going to be important, isn't it? Because what we do know about PSG is that they have got star power up front. So actually there's a real chance that City will have to do a lot more defending. So the confidence, I think, garnered from that first leg will be important.
Yeah, I think also on the night Mangala and Otamendi did okay, you know, against Abramovich and Di Maria and the other lads. But it's what we do now. We're playing at home next Tuesday. Of course, they know they've got to keep it tight at the back, but then go and try and sneak the extra goal.
And how are they going to sort out today, Richard, as well? Because I think it's a very difficult time to be playing a fixture like this, isn't it? It's going to be hard work against West Brom. And they've got a lot on their minds from what happened last week and a lot on their minds for next week as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what sort of team he puts out today, the manager. Obviously looking forward to the game on Tuesday, so it's going to be interesting if we put a strong enough team out today to get a comfortable win. Going back to the game Tuesday, I thought there was a lot of good positives to bring out of that game. There was a few little mistakes, but good performance. Everyone thought we was going to go over to Paris and get beat, so good performance, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Well, lovely to speak to you both. It's starting to spit here in West Reception, so you guys go and protect your hairdos, particularly you.
Well, welcome back to CityTV Live. We do want to hear your thoughts on the show today. What do you think of it? Tweet us at MCSE using the hashtag CityTV Live. Right, we've already heard the pre-match thoughts of Ali Mann, and he's joined by Andy Morrison up in the commentary box.
Yeah, thanks, Kelly. Yes, I've come up to the commentary box where I'm delighted to say that I'm joined by former City skipper Andy Morrison, who's just putting on the headset now. He's hot-footed it in to the Etihad Stadium to join us today. City, as I mentioned earlier, have made 5 changes. Just to confirm those for you: Zabaleta, Kolarov, Delph, Nasri and Boni in, Sanya, Clichy, Fernandinho, Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva out. The only one of those who is out with an injury, by the way, is David Silva, but it is a precautionary. He's had this problem with an ankle for a while now, and he's not in the 18 today. All the others are either on the bench or will be fit for Tuesday, it seems. The bench, by the way, has also got Yaya Toure on it. He wasn't fit in midweek. He is once again today. So, Andy, a very strong-looking City 11. The luxury being able to rest 5 players and still look that strong can't be underestimated, can it?
No, I think to make 5 changes and your team's not greatly weakened is testament to the strength of the squad. You know, you will look at the options we have to come onto the pitch as well with De Bruyne, Yaya, Inacio. You know, it's a great position to be in. David Silva's a miss, you know, and I hope that's not too long, because his form and his general play in the last few weeks has been back to him at his very best, and he plays a massive part in what we need against teams like this today. And you know, just trying to pick that lock with a bit of magic or something a bit different is what he gives us, because these will be 4-5-1, 4-6 at times. They'll just sit in and play for set plays and try and stay in the game as long as they can, and we'll need the little magician or something like that today, and it's up to somebody else now to step up and show that they can do the same things as David can.
Maybe that person will be Samir Nasri, who's back after, 8-9 months out. On his day, lest we forget, he was able to pick locks, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I think a lot of the players appreciate what a good player he is in tight situations and tight areas. You go back to the goal that we scored against United, you know, when he flicked it kind of Cruyff-esque back through his legs for the cross to come in, you know, and that's what he has in around the box. He never gets phased, you know, he doesn't panic in tight situations, and he does have the quality to open a tight defence, and you know, I think again he could play a major part in that today.
And of course, in the remaining games the rest of the season, City really have to pick up virtually wins. I know Manuel Pellegrini has talked about still not out the title race, but first things first, they need to make sure that top 4 is cemented, don't they? Yeah,
we spoke about that after the last the last home game, how close and tight it was, you know, and you know, with the results today, the 3-3 draw makes it you know, an opportunity for us to give a little bit of breathing space if we can get a result today. And let's be fair, if you know, if West Bromwich Albion are going to come here and affect us, then you know, we've probably got more to worry about than what we think, because we should have enough, and we've got enough if things are tight as the game goes on to open these up. And this is a game we should be looking to win comfy.
Let's just have a quick look at that West Brom side. I mean, you mentioned that they're pretty much 4-6-1 out of possession. You know, I mean, they're that kind of team. They play in a certain way that suits them, and to be fair, they've made themselves safe for the season. And as they showed against Sunderland last week, if they are broken down, they've got a fantastic goalkeeper in Ben Foster, so it's not going to be a pushover, is it?
Absolutely not. I mean, these games can become so frustrating. You know, if ideally you get that early goal, Even if we get the early goal, they won't come out. They'll stay till 70 minutes. They'll stay with their game plan. They'll stay sharp. And then with 20 minutes to go, they'll probably take a midfielder off and go with another striker and go 4-4-2 and have a real go to try and get back into the game. That's how he works. That's what he does. That's what he's always done. He, even in his Gillingham days, which, we go back to 99, that was how his team set up. It's very effective. He gets results, and like Sam Allardyce, he can almost guarantee that I'll keep the team in the league. It's not always the prettiest football, but it's decent.
Okay, just having a quick look around at this West Brom team. I'm trying to think. I mean, Berahino is a lively player. They have brought in a couple of wingers today, Sessegnon and McLean, who can affect things. It is about City, though, isn't it? I mean, these kind of games are about what the home side do when you know how the away side are going to set up. Yeah,
I don't think we would have spent too long this week worrying about them. Obviously, on the counter-attack with a bit of pace, that's how they're going to try and affect us. But it's going to be about us. It's going to be about our rotations, about our movements, about our overloads in certain areas. And I just really hope that we start the game aggressively with intent and realise that, this is a team that are going to try and stifle the game. Let's go and press them hard, and let's try and win the ball back high up the pitch and give us the greatest chance of scoring, because if we start from the halfway line and continually passing the ball, we'll end up just with them stuck in and trying to break down 10 players.
All right, Andy, the thoughts of Andy Morrison. We'll be hearing plenty from him throughout the game. I have to say, after what's been quite a pleasant afternoon in Manchester, he's now started to chuck it down, which is a great shame, but it will only slicken a fantastic pitch. That's the thoughts of Andy Morrison. Let's get the thoughts now of a journalist. Kelly is down in the press area.
Thank you, Ali. Yes, it certainly isn't raining down here. I'm glad to report from the press conference room. I'm, of course, joined by Andy Hampson from PA. Andy, thoughts on the squad?
Well, it's very interesting today. I'm not particularly surprised that there's been a few changes to the team, although Manuel has stressed that this is a very important game. We've got to try to put Tuesday out of the to the back of the mind for now, but it is difficult, and 5 changes probably reflects that. It's good to see Samir Nasri, Fabian Delph coming back into the starting lineup. Big afternoon for them, really. They've been out a long time. That they need a good run out, and it's a good opportunity for them. Not entirely surprised to see Kevin De Bruyne having a rest. He's vital for next week. He's come back in great form, and perhaps this was a good one for him to sit out.
There's a huge chunk of the programme, isn't there, dedicated to Samir. I think it says Samir's back or Samir returns. How much of a boost is that at this point in the season?
Well, absolutely. It's a really big boost. Obviously, he hasn't been registered for the Champions League squad because his injury was so horrific. People weren't so sure when he was going to come back, but now he is back. He can play in these Premier League games, and that's great. That gives Manuel an extra option. It can give the team, a bit like Kevin De Bruyne coming back, give the team a shot in the arm just when they need it. And hopefully go on and get some points in these last few weeks of the season, because obviously the battle at the top's very tight now for those top 4 positions, and they need as many points as they can get, and fresh legs like Samir's can only help.
What now do you think is the realistic aim for the remainder of the season?
Well, the team are still fighting on 2 fronts, aren't they? Obviously the Champions League is of massive importance now, but in league terms, realistically the title's out of reach now, but I still think second place is a possibility, and certainly third. So they should be aiming to, certainly to shore up 4th place to start with, and then look above that, and then, hopefully reel Arsenal in, and maybe even Tottenham.
Well, we know, of course, that we do have a good result against the Baggies. How do you see it going this afternoon?
Well, when they won that first game of the season, City was superb that night. It looked like it was going to be a great season. It's difficult to tell, actually, because we're sort of hit a stage of the season where West Brom don't seem to have been playing that often recently. They've not played too many games, but then again, a few weeks ago they did get a good result against Leicester. They took a point off them. They did beat Manchester United, so they're a tough team. Tony Pulis' sides always are. They're always tough to beat. I think it'll be a tight game, but I think City might just nick it by the odd goal.
And of course we have to give a mention to Paris earlier this week. We were both there, of course, a fantastic atmosphere and 2 huge away goals.
Oh, absolutely. That second goal, that Fernandinho's equaliser was absolutely vital in the context of that tie. It did swing the balance in City's favour. But it is only a slight advantage. It's still 2 goals apiece. Yeah, I mean a defeat, obviously, any sort of defeat, and City will go out. So they're going to need to be on their mettle on Tuesday night, and I expect a very good game. Paris. I mean, people have highlighted the errors City made, but Paris made a fair few themselves. So yeah, it could still go either way.
All right, thank you very much, Andy. Well, we heard from him earlier, so let's find out a little bit more now about Fabian Delph.
I mean, the one 4 months ago, that actually it was carrying a body. Yeah, and it went out onto my balcony and then disappeared.
Well guys, I know it's been a long time coming, but I'm delighted to say we have managed to get the man himself, Fabian Delph, it rhymes, for our latest edition of Your Comments. Fabian, thank you very much. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Good, are you ready for these fan questions?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Good. Okay, first of all, Lishang Young asks, who's your favourite all-time football player?
I probably would have to say Zidane.
Okay.
I enjoyed watching him when I was a young lad, and I still, to this day, type his name in YouTube just to look at some of the clips from when he was a player.
Okay, Ayo the Irishman. Hello Ayo, how are you? Who are you closest with in the squad? I think there's only one answer here.
Cliche. I'm closest with. We clicked from day one. We've got daughters the same age.
Yeah.
And he's just a great guy, and yeah, definitely my best friend.
Okay, Jack Morrison, how's your dog track in Leeds going?
Oh, I ain't opened it yet. I ain't opened it yet. If he's interested, I might open it with him if he
There you go,
fancies
Jack.
it.
There you go. There's a proposal for you. Ollie Shepherd says, I bought a Delph City shirt at the start of the season and I go to university in Birmingham with my accommodation 5 minutes away from Villa Park. Any advice on how to stay alive?
Maybe a big coat.
Yeah.
Nah, wear it with pride, mate. You'll be alright.
You'll be alright.
They're alright, them Villa fans, don't worry about it.
We put this out 2 months ago, so we hope you're doing okay. Ollie, we hope you're still surviving down there. Okay, how to Apple. At the end of your career, Fabian, would you rather be a manager or a TV pundit?
I don't think I'd do great being a TV pundit.
No, but you're good. You like the chat.
I like a chit chat, but
yeah, not a tactical chat.
No, my accent's probably a bit too strong for TV. I probably a coach or something like that. I'd prefer to be.
I can see you as a coach, in fairness. Yeah. Okay, Matthew Doran, do you like the new chant Delph every weekend?
Yes, I mean, to be honest with you, I've never had a song.
Really?
I know, and I've been playing quite a while now, so it seems to be my first song, so very grateful for it.
So you're happy enough?
Very happy.
Can you sing it for us?
No.
Okay, Matt Lunar, what tunes are you listening to at the moment?
I've been listening to a lot of Bill Withers at the minute.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, been listening to a lot of him. I like his music. It's it's definitely not my era, but
yeah, quite relaxed.
I've been trying to learn to play the guitar, and some of his songs are classics. And so yeah, probably
How's
Bill
the guitar
Withers.
playing going?
Not very good.
No, I think Willie's playing as well, isn't he? So
is he?
yeah, you could have a band, you, Willie. You and Willie.
Yeah, maybe.
Miguel Aguero, which is the best destination to go for a holiday in England?
God's country.
Yorkshire. It's got to be. Taran Singh, which teammates come to your mind when you first think of these tag names? You ready? The Engine. The Engine.
Fernandinho.
Hulk.
Wolf.
Goal scoring machine.
Sergio.
The Magician.
Ooh, I mean, we've got quite a few magicians. It's an hard one, but David.
And the pacey one.
A few quick ones as well, but probably Navas.
This will bring us on to this question from Jake Sylvester. Who would win in a race, you or Fernandinho?
I think I'd edge it.
You think?
I think I'd edge it. I don't think you'd know who'd won, would you? If you look from the back.
That's true.
We wear the same boots.
Yeah.
We've both got bald heads. I mean, I'm trying to grow a beard.
Yeah. He had a bit of a beard going on for a while,
he did,
didn't
he? From the back, I don't think you'd tell the difference.
Either of you could claim it?
Yeah.
Okay, the Ucklings official, or the Ucklings official, goal or assist?
Assist.
I think an assist is, yeah. I don't think you can beat an assist.
What, but
it's
even
a beautiful
better
thing.
than that, a goal or assist, a nice crunching tackle would be
above all else.
That, yeah.
Okay, Mohammed Daniel Zamzami Latakashki. What a name. Mohammed, I don't know if you believe in if ghosts are real or not, but what would you do if you saw a ghost?
I see ghosts all the time.
Do you?
Genuinely. I think I've
Seriously?
seen probably 4.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yeah, well, I've seen them.
No way. What kind of ghosts?
When I first signed for Villa, I stayed in a hotel.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called.
Like an old hotel?
Yeah, and
right.
There was a lot of things moving in the room, a lot of bangs, hairs on. When I had hair on the back of my neck was standing up. And about 4 months ago, I seen in my house in God's country, I seen 2 ghosts in the bedroom.
Seriously? Who do you think they are? Or you don't know?
I don't think they're there to harm me, but definitely seen them.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. Now I'm a bit weirded out because I don't really believe in them.
That's an exclusive.
That is an exclusive. Yeah, 4
Delph
ghosts.
sees ghosts.
So what did you do? Is Mohammed's asking then? What did you do? Just did they just disappear?
No, I just sat there looking at it, thinking,
stared them out.
I stayed there with my quilts like that, going. Ugh. No, it was just a split second, and then they was gone.
Jeez.
I mean, the one 4 months ago, that actually was carrying a body. Yeah, and it went out onto my balcony and then disappeared.
I see dead people.
Well, I mentioned before it was absolutely chucking down. It's funny because this morning I live in Manchester, live not far from the ground. It was glorious sunshine. I was walking around thinking that spring had indeed sprung, but this part of the world is famous for showers, and it is absolutely chucking it down. The pitch, by the way, is immaculate, and if anything, it'll make the game even pacier, which will definitely suit City because they will be moving the ball around at pace and moving it out wide. So I think it will not certainly dampen City's spirits in any way, shape or form. The teams both going through their pre-match preparations. West Brom pretty much safe, so for them it's pride, and there's plenty of things for them to play for in terms of points, and each position in the table is worth a lot of money to the club and indeed to the players as well. So they're not just going to come here and make up the numbers, but as Andy Morrison said before when we were having our chat, they will come and defend, they will come and make it difficult, and City will have to find ways of breaking them down. Well, of course, City is the final game of Saturday. The other games that have taken place have all finished already. And these are the results. Aston Villa's miserable season just keeps on getting worse. Bournemouth, by the way, are pretty much safe now. The first time they've ever been in the top division of the English Premier League. And they are pretty much assured of safety now. They've broken the 40-point barrier with that victory. Aston Villa, well, they are getting closer week by week to being relegated. Another defeat for them. And by the way, Aston Villa face Manchester United at Old Trafford next week, and I'll be coming on to that in a minute. Crystal Palace 1, Norwich 0. One has to say that's a huge result for Crystal Palace, who hadn't won a game in 2016 in the Premier League. And they were actually having Norwich breathing down the back of their necks because Norwich are doing themselves no problems at all by winning 2 games in a row prior to this, and they're just outside the bottom 3. So that's a huge win for Crystal Palace. Newcastle losing again. Southampton winning by 3-1. And compounding Newcastle's misery, they are very much entrenched in the bottom 3. Swansea 1, Chelsea 0. That is the first defeat Chelsea have suffered since Jose Mourinho was sacked, and Gus Hiddink suffers his first defeat as Chelsea manager. and perhaps that's quite timely because City's next opponents in the Premier League are Chelsea next week at Stamford Bridge, so at least they've now tasted defeat under their new manager. The final score of the other match that's taken place so far today in the Premier League, a 1-1 draw between Watford and Everton, which pretty much leaves them locked in mid-table. So those are the results so far. The only one that I don't think I've mentioned in any great detail was West Ham 3, Arsenal 3, which is, I suppose you could say, an ideal result for City because they want to chase down Arsenal, who are immediately above them in third, and equally it keeps West Ham, who are trying to take fourth spot off City, a little bit still behind them and having played a game more, which all means that if City can beat West Brom today, that there will be quite a sizable gap starting to open up between fourth and indeed where West Ham currently are, which is sixth. Okay, let's have a look at the table and see where those results have made a difference. And of course, one of the biggest movers have been Crystal Palace, who now have a much bigger gap, 10 points between themselves and Sunderland, who play Leicester City tomorrow. Norwich, I mentioned, had won 2 games in a row, but they are still not out of relegation trouble, and that they are now hoping that Sunderland will not get anything against Leicester City in their match tomorrow. Newcastle again losing, and the gap's now 6 points between themselves and Norwich, with 1 game more played by Norwich. Aston Villa, well, it's now a matter of not if, but when they get relegated. And there's Bournemouth sitting proudly at the top of that caption with 41 points. There's the top 10. I mentioned that draw between Arsenal and West Ham. A big draw, a big result. Well, Arsenal were actually 2-0 up in that game, and indeed it took 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes just before half-time to put West Ham back in it, who then took the lead to make it 3-2. Arsenal equalise, and it means if City can win against West Brom today, they'll move within a couple of points of Arsenal. And also, if they should win today, they will be, as you can see, 4 points ahead of Manchester United, who play tomorrow against Spurs. And of course they will be 5 points ahead of West Ham. So it is a big game, this one, for City, a huge game really, and one which, if they can win it, they'll start to breathe a little easier ahead of that massive Champions League quarter-final second leg against Paris Saint-Germain on Tuesday night. And you're just looking around at the players who City have brought into the side today, the likes of Zabaleta, the likes of Fabian Delph, and it just shows you the depth of this City side. I think it was quite predictable that there are 5 changes today, but the fact that those 5 changes haven't made City look any weaker in reality just shows what a fabulous squad City have. Now so many of those injuries have started to clear up, and indeed there's even talk that Vincent Kompany may even find himself fit and available for the game against Paris Saint-Germain on Tuesday, fingers crossed. Okay, let's get the views of some supporters now. We like to get the views of what you think out there. I think Kelly's got a fan with her.
Thank you very much, Ali. Well, the weather is so bad, they've started out handing these around the ground. So this is Michael. Michael, I think you must have missed out on one of these because you are drenched.
Soaking out there, but it's all worth it when you come to watch your club, isn't it, at the end of the day?
It certainly
you know.
Let's talk about the team. Has Manuel picked the right team today?
To be honest, I've not had a chance to see the team, so I don't know who it is.
Well, I can tell you, Nasri, you can see running around down there, he is back in the squad, back in the starting lineup. That's great to see, isn't it?
I'm happy about that, yeah. It's good to see him back, a bit more creativity in the midfield. Hopefully get a bit of service to Sergio and score some goals in the back of the net at the end of the day, you know. I'm glad to see him back. I'm glad De Bruyne's back. I'm glad Hart's back from his little injury. Squad looks good, looks strong. And hopefully we can put them to the sword today and make up some ground on the top 4.
What do you make of the season so far? It's been a bit of a mixed bag, hasn't it?
Hit and miss for me, really. I think we lost a bit of fluidity and confidence when the announcement about Pep came out. But it shouldn't really affect the season as a whole. As long as we get top 4, I'm happy with that.
Now, I'm guessing you watched what happened out in Paris.
I did, yes. Exciting game, crazy game. Yeah, bonkers really. I can't really describe it other than that. We've strong, solid performance, but you know, things like the first goal for Paris happened and things like that. We came back strong, and hopefully we can do them here next week.
What would it mean for you as a fan to get through that second leg?
Oh, it'd be absolutely immense, you know. In my history of watching the club, we've never been this far in the Champions League. We never been this big of a club. So to me, this is all new and it's all brilliant and exciting, and the further we get, the better it is for us in the future.
Well, of course, before that, we have to win today.
Oh, absolutely.
The 3 points are vital. How do you see it going?
I think we should start off pretty quickly and press them high up the pitch. Hopefully put a lot of pressure on the ball and force them into some early mistakes. We'll get an early lead and control the game from there, really, is how I hope it goes. But, you know, things like that can always be different on the pitch.
All right, well, Michael, I don't know if you know, just finally, today is Sergio's 200th game at City.
Right,
a huge milestone. I think we've run out of words, though, to describe him, haven't we?
Yeah, there isn't any in the dictionary left that you can use to describe what he does for the team. He's just immense. At the end of the day, you know, we can rely on him to score the goals when we need him to score the goals, and he's proven time after time that he does that.
Okay, maybe a Sergio hat-trick today could be the day. Do you want this poncho? Do you want this poncho? You're going to take he's going to take the poncho. Thank you very much, Michael. And let's get the thoughts of Manuel Pellegrini ahead of kickoff.
How important is it now for you to make sure that everybody in the team is fully focused on this game at the weekend to make sure you keep that chase going for a top 4 finish?
Well, I hope and I suppose that will be the reaction, because it was exactly the same the game we played last weekend against Bournemouth, but everyone could be thinking about the Champions League, but I think that we were focused on that game. I think that the team played very well that game, and that was important for the trust in the way we play on Wednesday. So tomorrow exactly the same. I think that all the players will be focused in what we need to do, that is to win our 3 points here at home.
And are you confident the players will be able to do that, given the fact that this is such a big game next week and the scoreline from that first leg?
It's a big game, but also it's a big game against West Brom at home, especially that all the teams that are involved around us play between them. So play Arsenal with West Ham and play Tottenham against Manchester United. So it's very important not to drop points here at home, and I think that is the mentality of our players.
With the game next week, what will be your thinking about West Brom? How many changes, how much kind of refreshing will you have to do?
Well, we'll see tomorrow. It's very important to finish this 48 hours after the game. Tomorrow morning we'll see which are the players that recover better, and we'll see which of them can repeat. Maybe we are going to make some change to refresh the team, but all the players at 100% will play tomorrow.
And finally, with games running out now and with Leicester doing what they're doing, is the title now, the chances, do you think that's faded now, gone?
No, because I will repeat the same answer that 1 month ago. When mathematics gives you chances, you must always continue thinking that you can do it. The only thing in this moment is that you don't depend on what you can do. So the only thing that you can do is to win your game. That's our mentality. We are going to try to win the game. Of course, I think that we have a lot of points to recover. It's not easy that all the teams that are in front of us, the 3 teams, can lose all the points. But you must continue trusting, and you must continue not giving up and try to continue playing well and winning your points.
And finally, West Bromwich Albion have a reputation at the moment anyway for sitting quite deep and defending. Is that something you expect to happen again tomorrow?
Probably, because it's the way they know how to play, it's the best way they do it. So sure, tomorrow we are going to we must need to make a very good moments in attacking, so to try to create a space. But also be careful, there's a team that has very strong players for the counter-attacks, for boxing players also, so we must be very careful not to think just in attack, also to defend well.
Yeah, the thoughts there of Manuel Pellegrini. Former Manchester City skipper Andy Morrison is alongside me. He'll be doing the co-commentary with us when the match kicks off in a few minutes' time. Andy, Manuel Pellegrini quite rightly saying he's going to keep going for all the points, and he's going to try and see if there's a way that City can still win the title. But in reality, is this really about cementing top 4 and preferably top 3 so they don't have that playoff game to get into the Champions League?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously not going to give up because that would be a defeatist attitude, you know. So while there's still a possibility, and while mathematically we can still win it, we have to say the right things. And at this time of season, every game is just about, I mean, I don't know if it's any different any other time of the season, but it's about winning the game that's in front of us. West Brom are the obstacle today that we have to get past. And I've just got a good feeling about today. You know, even in the rain now, to allow us to move the ball a bit quicker, which against teams like this is so important. You know, they want you to slow play down. They want to be able to get back into their shape and shut off space. But with this, if we're quick with the ball and we move things really sharp, we can cause them major problems.
Of course, City have only got 3 home games left now. Obviously, this is the first of them, and 4 games away from home, including the rearranged one at Newcastle. Still means there are 21 points up for grabs. City invariably have finished seasons well, haven't they? Do you anticipate them getting the majority of those 21 points between now and the end of the campaign?
And I'd like to think so. I mean, you know, if we sit here now and we said we took 21 points from the next 7 games, where would that leave us? You know, I'm pretty sure we'd be second or third. Guaranteed, you know, with 21 points. You know, there's talk of Vinny coming back over the next maybe week, 2 weeks. So we're going into a period where everybody's fit, everybody's right, and you can't look forward to the PSG game. We have to focus completely on this, get this game out of the way, and then re-go again for PSG. Because if you've got one eye on PSG, these games will find you out. And you know, it's a great time for the club. You know, they're pivotal couple of weeks in our season, because if things go right for us on Tuesday night, you know, you just start thinking then a semi-final, anything can happen on a big stage like that, and you know, could it be our year?
Okay, I'm just going to stop you for the moment, because we do like to get the views of supporters around the ground, and Kelly's got another fan with her.
Thank you, Ali. Yes, it's just started thundering, as myself and Ben have just been listening out to. Getting a little bit scary in Manchester. Ben, what do you think of the team today?
I think it's quite a change, but I think they've got one eye on the match in the Champions League against PSG, so I suppose they've got to break it up and try and keep everybody happy, really. But I see Bonnie's in as a striker up front with Aguero, so I hope he can do something for us. But as we know, West Brom are very good at set pieces, and they've got a good back line, which we're not very good at defending at the moment. So I suppose with Bonnie, he's got a little bit of height, he should help us when we have set pieces.
Equally though, we have a good record against West Brom.
Yes, we have a very good record against West Brom. We just like, especially with Arsenal and West Ham having a draw today, if we can get 3 points, it'll give us a 4 or 5 point gap for the 4th spot, which we want. And of course our rivals tomorrow, if Tottenham can do us a favour, it'll be very helpful.
Of course, we've got Nasri back in the starting 11. Good to see him.
It's brilliant to see Nasri. I think with David Silva picking up that little ankle injury, I think Nasri does the same sort of role, probably not as effective, but he's very tricky and he can do some wonderful through balls, and I think that's sometimes what we need, really.
And of course, you've already mentioned that Champions League performance. How do you see it going next week?
It's going to be very, very tough. If we can defend hard, we know that they're going to be very good on the break, but if we can defend hard and get a goal, I'm sure we can do it. Yeah, I'd love to see us in the semi-finals.
We believe, don't we, Ben? Thank you very much. Well, I did promise Mike earlier that we'd be listening to his band in City Square. This is Honey Jive.
Michelle, fight for that white girl. This one for them good girls, straight masterpiece. Started, wildin', living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on like Saint Laurent. I'm gonna kiss myself, I'm so pretty. I'm too hot, hot there. All the police and the fireman. I'm too hot, hot there. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot, hot there. Say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, hot there. I'm bad about that money. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Saturday night and we're in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 a minute. Fill my cup, put some liquor in it. Take a sip, sign a check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Manchester City. We show up, we're gonna show out. Smooth and a fresh drop skippy. I'm too hot, hot damn. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot, hot damn. Make a dragon wanna retire, man. I'm too hot, hot damn. Say my name, you know who I am. Too hot, hot damn. I'm a bad about that money. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to ya. Cause Uptown Funk don't give it to ya. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to ya. Saturday night and we're in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, hey, hey. Do 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 do. Uptown funk you up. 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 Come on, dance, jump on it. If you're sexy, then bounce it. If you're freaky, then own it. Don't brag about it, come show it. Come on, dance, jump on it. If you're sexy, then bounce it. Well, it's Saturday night and we're in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. 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 Hey, 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 hey. Uptown funk you up. 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 Upto that uptown funk you up. Uptown funk you up. It's that uptown funk you up. Ow!
Yeah, Uptown Funk You Up, or whatever it was called, by Mark Ronson, if I'm correct. That was Mike Wedderburn, who we heard from before, big Manchester City fan, Sky Sports News presenter, and all-round great sports guy, and also a keyboard player, it would seem, providing the entertainment in City Square before the game kicks off. The good weather that was around Manchester about an hour and a half ago has now given way to thunderstorms and driving rain, and the players yet to emerge from the tunnel. And one thing I can certainly say for sure is that however much it rains, one thing about this Manchester City pitch is that it never ever seems to retain any water. It is quite breathtaking, the surface here at the Etihad Stadium. Still remains one of the best, if not the best, in the Premier League. And if you haven't been to the Etihad Stadium, you can see the sort of crown of the pitch, so to speak. There is some height between the sideline and the centre spot, and it allows all the rain to drain off to the side, so conditions will be absolutely perfect for the players. And as Andy Morrison alongside me alluded to before, it might even suit City actually, because they will want a high tempo game, and this pitch will definitely lend itself to a fast-paced match. City haven't started every game as you would expect them to, as you would want them to, driving from the front. They've been pedestrian a couple of times. Leicester caught them cold recently in a game that was so crucial, a game which if City had won they'd have gone top of the table that day. That was only in February. They were caught cold by Manchester United a couple of weeks ago, of course, the last time they were here. An early goal concession which ultimately proved to be the only goal of the match. And I can think of 1 or 2 games this season where they haven't started too well at home. West Ham got a couple of goals very quickly in a game earlier this season, turned out to be City's first defeat of the campaign. But today, if they can start brightly against the West Brom team who come for 0-0 draws, and they're very good at getting them, you do imagine that their whole demeanour would have to change. I mentioned before, and hopefully you've already heard from him if you've joined us a few minutes earlier, former City skipper Andy Morrison alongside me, and one of the first experiences you had against the Tony Pulis side was a very famous day in this club's history, the playoff final of 1999 when he was manager of Gillingham. What kind of side did he set up then tactically?
I don't think he's changed over the years. I really don't. You know, credit to him. He has his beliefs in how to win games of football. He's always been effective. He's always been successful. Many promotions, and you know, his record at Stoke was fantastic. You know, we already brought him through the leagues. I think when we actually finished the game, I think he had 7 centre-halves on the pitch for the extra time. You know, so listen, he knows how to stifle and frustrate an opposition. But you also have to have a threat going forward, and there's many players in that team who, if we don't show them the right respect and we don't stay tuned in with the game, they will expose us on the break. Both wingers are quick and very direct, and they have people who can shoot from outside the box, you know, and this is how they get their goals. Obviously a Tony Pulis team, set plays are going to play a major part. You know, we have to be so switched on in every single set play, where we come up a little bit short against Leicester early on in the game, and a couple of times this season. You know, it's the one thing you can't do in a home game is to concede from a set play. That once that team get their nose in front, if we thought they played deep before they actually scored, wait to see where they are once they've scored. You know, they'll be that deep. They'll need swimming trunks on. They'll be back on the penalty spot, let alone the 18-yard box, and that's what they do. And it's very hard, very frustrating, because the fans can sense that as well. You know, and then that sort of generates around the stadium, and then the players begin to feel that, and then they start trying to rush things, and just very important that you know, we start this game fast, as we've already said.
Well, it's fascinating that City actually come into this game having lost 4 of the last 7 Premier League matches, which we really don't associate with City in recent times. Perhaps even more surprising is that they've lost 3 of their last 4 games here at the Etihad Stadium, which, well, that is perhaps one of the reasons that they have not been in touch with the top 2, and indeed haven't, as it would seem, put themselves in a position to win the Premier League title. If you think back, Andy, to that first time they won the Premier League, 2011-12, they dropped 2 points at home all season. Yeah. This season they've lost 5 times here. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. You know, and I can't exactly put my finger on why that is, Ali. I'm not sure. You know, I don't know what they're doing different. You know, the quality of the players is still there. But we just seem to have started, I think, and you've already alluded to the fact that, you know, this games we haven't started fast enough. We haven't started with the right intensity, and I don't know what's been said coming out of that changing room and actually in the tunnel without being in there. I don't know what sort of intensity and demands that they've been put on the players. Yeah, we know they're great players. We know that when they're at their very best, they can be unplayable. But these early games in the Premier League, which Guardiola will find out next season, you know, every game you come up against, you're going to be playing against a team who are very strong, very organised, very disciplined, and we've got to earn the right to win the game, you know.
One thing you have to say about City is that they must be aware in preparation for this game, they must be aware that they're going to be up against people who are going to make it tight, not allow them to exhibit how they want to. They'll probably even make it difficult for us to get down the flanks, I would have thought. So patience, I know you want them to start quickly, but patience still has to form a part of this, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's, like I said, I think the pitch will help us now. But I'm looking at their team, you know, and they do have threats. Berahino, Rondon, you know, they've got a threat all round. And Sandro, they've got a great, a kind of, you know, what Ferrandinho does for us, he breaks up play. He can also play as well. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking at them now, and I'm thinking, you know, they're a big, strong, organised team, and I think it's Session, Berahino, Rondo. There's a real threat there, and they've got experience in the team in Fletcher. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough game, but you know, I just got a feeling about today with the performances over the last couple of games, the Bournemouth and then the PSG game, that there's a feel-good factor. And I like the strength of Fernando and Fernandinho. You're also bringing in Delph in, who again is an athlete in modern day football, somebody who can get around the pitch and for me, you know, is one of the unsung heroes at the club, because he's just gone about his job in the right way, doesn't seem to cause any problems, works hard, and when he comes on, he's never let us down.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the starting 11 for City today. Of course, in goal, Joe Hart back after injury. He's also the captain today. Pablo Zabaleta, both fullbacks have been changed for this match. Pablo Zabaleta down the right. Fernando keeps his place in holding midfield. Fernandinho is rested to the bench. Samir Nasri starts for the first time since the summer, since August. Sergio Aguero makes his 200th appearance for Manchester City. Alexander Kolarov starts at left back in place of Gael Clichy. Wilfred Bony starts tonight. Aguero and Bony, a two-pronged attack for City. Jesus Navas retains his place from Paris. Fabian Delph comes into the starting 11 alongside Fernando. Eliakim Mangala keeps his place alongside Nicolas Otamendi, the two centre-backs in place once again. And on the bench today is Yaya Toure, Kevin De Bruyne and Iheanacho among several others. Let's get some tweets now. Kelly has got the latest from you around the world.
Thank you very much. Just had a couple of tweets through, as you say, Ali. Alex Barlow, he thinks it's going to be 4-1. Another prediction 4-2. Got one PVS. City are going to win 3-0. Just a reminder, if you do want to give us your thoughts on City TV Live, tweet us at MCSC using the hashtag CityTV Live. We're going to get through as many of those as possible.
Okay, well, City began by winning a corner in the first minute. Kolarov took it and Ben Foster gathered it fairly simply. The rain is still teeming down. I think the only thing I haven't mentioned is that the referee today is Mike Jones. West Brom have the ball in City territory and they have quite a few players in this attack, and Joe Hart tries but can't prevent a corner, and West Bromwich Albion have got themselves a corner in the opening couple of minutes, and bearing in mind that they have a genuine threat from set pieces, that is not the ideal start for the Blues. It will be an in-swinging corner from McLean. And the likes of Dawson's always a threat, McCauley's always a threat. But the corner is very poor, and indeed it's cleared and all the way up to Sergio Aguero on the halfway line. And City now have 3 on the counter-attack against 3 for West Brom. Make that 4. Here's Kolarov in a shooting position. And his shot takes a ricochet, and City have a corner. My goodness, they turned the defence into attack quickly there, Andy.
Yeah, and it probably just came to the wrong player in the wrong position, because he had to cut back onto his left foot, favoured left foot, and rather than be able to let the ball run across his body and hit it with his right, it would have opened up. But it was quick and it was incisive, and it was promising.
So City have a corner again. They've had 2 corners in the opening 2.5 minutes. Kolarov will hit it out swinging towards a posse of players, but it's easily dealt with by former Manchester United centre-half Johnny Evans. Kept alive by Navas, in by Kolarov, and Foster manages to gather it in. A skiddy ball on a skiddy surface, and that was tidy goalkeeping from a player who virtually single-handedly kept Sunderland at bay last week in a 0-0 draw at the Stadium of Light, where West Bromwich Albion quite literally had no chances. I was speaking to someone who was at the game, and they told me West Brom did not have one single opportunity in the match that drew 0-0, which might well be the case today, except for the 0-0. Samir Nasri has it wide on the left-hand side. He has this bleached blonde hair look these days. And City with just a little bit of keep ball around about the centre circle. Here's Zabaleta, who nudges it out wide to Navas. City pretty much in the middle third of the field, not really making too much progress, but certainly keeping possession well. Otamendi now crosses the halfway line by playing it to Aguero, his countryman. Aguero has to turn and go backwards to Zabaleta, midway inside the West Brom half. Aguero in the right wing position decides to go backwards to Otamendi, and West Bromwich Albion are doing what they can just to close the space down. Kolarov now on the left-hand side, and City pretty much locked around the centre line, and West Brom happy for them to just ease their way into their territory where they are holding 10 players behind the ball. Bonny shows and plays it in field to Aguero. It's midway inside the West Brom half, not too threatening at all, but City very much dominating the early possession here. Mangala sweeps it out wide and plays it to Kolarov, who hugs the left-hand touchline. Nasri shows, and I don't think anything that's happened in the opening few minutes has surprised any of us, because City are in possession of it and West Brom are just in retreat, but the referee got in the way there, and now West Brom can build a counter-attack, and McLean, who is quite a pacey winger, has it wide on this left-hand side. He delivers quite a reasonable ball, and Sessegnon picks it up and drives it, and it's gone in, and West Brom are in front. Andy Morrison, what on earth happened there?
I could only think Joe Hart's blinded and can't see the ball, because he's not reacted to the ball. One of the worries for me is Samir Nasri's ran into the referee in the attacking third, and then he's just walked. He's just walked back. If you watch that there, there's the block now, and his reaction now is just to jog back in, and it should be sprinting back in to try and give us a bit of cover. And it looks to me as if I can only think Joe's been blinded by one of his own players, because Sessegnon's hit this so early.
It's an awful goal to concede. It came from a Manchester City attack. It got broken down because the ball was played towards Nasri. He couldn't get to the ball because Mike Jones was in the way, the referee. And next thing you knew, McLean was bombing it down the left-hand side. It reached Sessegnon on the far stick, and
straight
he thumped
through
it.
Kolarov's legs.
And Joe couldn't get near it.
Couldn't even see it. No, I think Joe will be disappointed with that.
So 5 minutes gone, and City knew it was going to be a tough afternoon in terms of breaking down the opposition. Well, it's just got that little bit tougher, because now they've got what they came for, which was a goal to defend. Well, that is absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, the worry, Ali, was it was just too easy. You know, it was a simple breakdown, and then 3 passes later they're getting a shot on the edge of our box without anybody actually getting to the ball and stopping them.
Well, Nasri has the ball on the left edge of the West Brom penalty area. City now have to find a quick response. Kolarov plays it in. Bonny can't quite get a hit on it. It's cleared as far as Rondon, who loses out to Delph, and it's back on the halfway line with Mangala. And City trail 1-0 in a game everybody was expecting to be a comfortable afternoon's work, except I think those who've seen West Brom a few times, who know that they are an awkward team. I watched them a few weeks ago at Leicester City get a 2-2 draw. Now Kolarov round the back, Bonny can't get to the ball, and West Brom will clear it eventually through Sessegnon.
At times they're defending with 9 men within 10 yards of their own box, and it's just going to be relentless. It's whether we can find a gap to create something. I think Joe's going to be really disappointed when he sees that. I think he's waits on his back heels there, and it's just done him at the near post.
Yeah, I was just looking at a replay of that goal, and it was hit in an area where you just expect a goalkeeper to get down and save it, but it went through the legs of Alexander Kolarov, and by the moment it had gone through the legs of Alexander Kolarov, you could tell Joe wasn't going to get anywhere near it, and he didn't. And
he's hit it early. It's the only thing I can give him credit for. He's hit it early, but when it goes through the defender's legs, I mean, you know, you'd say that from that sort of yardage, the keeper has to be able to protect his near post. So I think he'll be disappointed with that.
Well, the teams below City will be rubbing their hands, one of which, of course, is Manchester United, who tomorrow face Spurs. Next weekend, they're at home to an Aston Villa team who are all but relegated and who've lost game after game. And on the same day, City are at Stamford Bridge playing Chelsea, so they really have to win this match today, or Manchester United could end next weekend in 4th and City will be playing catch-up. City have won a free kick on the edge of their... No, they haven't. They have been penalised and have given away a free kick on the edge of their own area.
Yeah,
for a foul
just
on
got.
Rondon.
Yeah, he's just got the wrong side. Probably a foul on him to start with. And the linesman's not seen the initial foul. This is going to be dangerous again.
Well, City, I mentioned earlier, have started too many games this season here at the Etihad Stadium poorly and have had to play catch-up. Well, they couldn't do it against Manchester United the last time out. They couldn't. They conceded the first goal against Spurs and lost 2-1. They conceded the first goal against West Ham and lost 2-1. They conceded the first goal against Leicester and lost 3-1, and they almost couldn't defend that free kick. It whistled across the face of the goal, and Dawson couldn't quite stretch out and tuck it in.
Wow, it's close. It's very dangerous. Again, we knew set plays would be their main threat. But we need a little bit of a pick-up here, don't we? Because it's gone a bit flat.
Well, having reached the heights of the performance in the quarter-final of the Champions League on Wednesday night, City have been brought back down to earth with a bump in the opening minutes here against West Brom. But here comes Nasri. Nasri attacking from the left-hand side. Outside him is Kolarov. In it goes, and then it's cleared right in front of the goalkeeper. And there are some City fans who are hoping Bonnie might have gone on the end of it. He couldn't reach it, and West Brom concede another corner.
Yeah, he's very close. It's a predictable ball from Kolarov. We know he puts it into that corridor, and somebody's got to be gambling in there with a bit more appetite than that and a bit more desire to get on the end of it, because it's a great ball, crying out for somebody arriving.
Nasri takes the corner, and City will have another one. And the pattern of this game has been set in the opening 10.5 minutes. City are going to be camped in West Brom territory, but they're going to have to be careful on the counter-attack. And West Brom have already put them to the sword on one such occasion. City 0, West Brom 1. Goal from Sessegnon within 5 minutes. City playing catch-up again in a home game at the Etihad Stadium. Samir Nasri will take an out-swinging corner. Again, it's headed away for another corner. James Chester, another former Manchester United player, getting it away. City 5, West Brom 1 in corners, but it doesn't really matter what that particular score is. It's the one in the corner of your screen that matters. City 0, West Brom 1. Kolarov waiting to deliver this out-swinging corner. I have to admit, Andy, maybe you've got a view on this. The fact that City always seem to take out-swinging corners, I don't know. Shouldn't an in-swinger
I'd
the
like
variety?
to see. Yeah, I would like to see something brought in with a bit more. Look at this. It's just no end product. We fire it in on top of the goalkeeper and we get movement in there. We've got a chance. It's just too easy to defend that. I think that's 5 corners already in the first 12 minutes. You know, and we've not got on the end of one yet. And that West Brom are going to make a substitution here, I think.
Yeah, Rondon, their big centre forward, just went down in a heap right in front of the referee, and the way he's gone down and the bewilderment is on the West Brom bench. They're already warming someone up, and I think Rondon's going to have to make way, it seems. The signal's just gone from Rondon that he's going to try and soldier on, but by the look of him, I'm not sure he's going to be able to. Craig Gardner's warming up on the sideline, and he's getting final instructions, it seems to me.
I'd imagine it's something he's carried into the game, because there's nothing happened so far that would suggest any contact.
Well, West Brom have the ball in their own half, and the Brazilian, or former Brazilian international, Sandro has it. He's just about to play it backwards to one of his centre-backs, Johnny Evans, and Johnny Evans then guides it all the way back to Foster. Well, West Ham have won here, Liverpool have won here, Spurs have won here, Leicester have won here, and Manchester United have won here in the Premier League. And now West Brom lead here. And here they come with McLean down the left-hand side, faced by Pablo Zabaleta. He delivers a reasonable ball, but Zabaleta blocks its trajectory and it goes out for a West Brom throw midway inside the City half.
They know what they're going to do, Ali. You know, it's going to be wide, it's going to be one touch and thrown in the box. So everybody can play on the back of that. They know what the threat is. And it makes it predictable, but it also gives them an advantage where we tend to come back out and play the ball. They know this ball's coming in the box, so they'll get bodies in there. All right, it's overhit.
Yeah, cross came in from Chester. It was overhit. It went straight out for a goal kick, but Rondon knows it's coming. Sessegnon knows it's coming. The City defence knows it's coming, but it's a different proposition trying to repel it. The ball's played up towards Nasri, who can't control it, and West Brom just thump it into City territory, and another minute ticks by, and we've reached the 15th minute, and West Brom are exactly where they want to be, defending a lead here at the Etihad Stadium. This is the reverse fixture of the opening day of the Premier League season, when City got off to a quite breathtaking start with a 3-0 victory at the Hawthorns, and the way they played that day, and indeed the way they played throughout August, there were many who were predicting that City would romp away with the Premier League title and have it maybe in the bag by February. It hasn't turned out to be that way. They beat West Brom, they beat Chelsea, they beat Watford, they won at Crystal Palace, and they didn't concede a goal in the opening 4 matches of this Premier League season. And then the injuries started to kick in. David Silva picked an injury up, Vincent Kompany picked an injury up, Sergio Aguero picked an injury up, and even a squad as talented as this started to look as though they were struggling to cope with such key absentees. City have it though with Otamendi, and it's gone towards the edge of the West Brom penalty area, and their goalkeeper Foster gathers it in. Look a bit flat, City, look a bit stunned, don't they, Andy?
Yeah, it's took the stuffing out of the whole place, you know. After the recent performances, everybody's turned up today expecting a fast start and that, and we're 1-0 down inside, was it 4 minutes, 5 minutes? So it's going to be a difficult afternoon. Again, we're going to have to be patient. They're not going to do anything different. They won't change anything. They'll keep doing what they do. Can we find that bit of magic to open this up? Because once we get our noses in front, the game will continue. They won't try and have a go at us. They'll be happy with a point.
Well, I made a prediction pre-match that if City score twice, they'll win this game. That is the challenge that they face right now, with West Brom having scored and City yet to fashion a single opportunity. Delph plays it out wide to Nasri in the left wing position, still some 50 yards from goal though. Delph joins in for a second time. It's only midway inside the West Brom half, and he tries to play it out wide to Navas, and it's headed out by McLean and out for a City throw midway inside West Brom territory. Zabaleta looks for some movement, throws it to Navas. Navas tucks it inside to Delph. There's plenty of room for Delph, and he sweeps it out wide to Kolarov. And there are 10 red-shirted 9 and a goalkeeper in front of Manchester City at the moment. Rondon is the only player who's not in front of City as they try to break West Brom down. Aguero is dumped to the floor. It reaches Kolarov on the overlap. That's a penalty. All day long, Kolarov caught. Aguero's in a heap on the floor, which is worrying from many perspectives, not least of which because he would have taken the penalty.
No, he'll be right. It's a fantastic timing of the pass, which is just caught. I think it's Sessegnon. We see him giving the ball here now, and he just keeps running there. And then Nasri, the great timing of the pass. He's caught the wrong side, and there you go. And how much contact there is, I don't know. But you can't get that side and then go and kick. Yeah, he's just caught his heel.
He's missed the ball and caught the heel of Kolarov. And it's a penalty for City, and they can redress the balance very quickly. Aguero, I have to say, by the way, is absolutely fine. And he has picked himself up, and he's placed the ball on the spot. And you may recall he missed one by hitting the base of the post a couple of weeks back against Aston Villa. On this occasion, he has scored, and Manchester City are level, and on his 200th appearance for City, Sergio Aguero makes it 1-1.
Yeah, terrific penalty. Probably more calm than anybody else. I was nervous, seeing that he's just had a kick, but he slotted it down. The keeper's gone the right way, but the power is tremendous. Fantastic. A great time to score as well, you know. Just when it started to look like we're getting frustrated, now we can go on and win this game.
Well, it was City's first shot on target of the match, and it was a Sergio Aguero penalty. And Aguero, I have to say, even though he was okay when he took the penalty, is still grimacing, and he looks as though he's taken what we'd describe as an impact injury, a blow to the calf possibly, and he is labouring just a touch. And with Paris Saint-Germain in mind on Tuesday night, City aren't going to take any risks, one imagines. Anyway, Navas has the ball, and he plays it in field towards Mangala, and City have redressed the balance, and they're about to see West Brom make the first change of the afternoon, and Craig Gardner's going to come onto the field, and I imagine it'll be Rondon that makes way, because he was the man who was suffering before, but we shall see. Sessegnon tries to win the ball back. It reaches Rondon, and West Brom have 6 players inside City territory. Sessegnon, the goal scorer, plays it out wide into the path of the advancing Dawson. The cross is charged down. It's then cleared by Fernando. Rondon doesn't look as though he can move, and he is surely the man that's going to make way. Here comes City with Kolarov. Kolarov has played a big part in City proceedings so far. Nasri plays it in field, and it goes to Delph, and Delph sweeps it out wide to Aguero. Aguero inside the last third of West Brom territory, plays it in field to Nasri. Nasri back to Aguero. Aguero now looks inside, plays it to Nasri. Nasri to Delph. City playing keep ball. Nasri now tries to put the foot on the accelerator. He shoots, but it's charged down and reaches Zabaleta. Navas out wide in the right wing position. Guides it to Nasri, who looked as though he might have been offside, and now it's gone off Nasri and out for a West Brom throw. And now West Brom will make that change, and Rondon will say, please can I come off, and takes his gloves off and makes his way to the sideline, and on comes Gardner. Well, Gardner's a midfielder and Rondon's their centre forward. So,
Berahini will just step up, he'll go to the point now up front, and Gardner will just drop back into midfield. There'll be no change here. If anything, it makes them more solid.
Well, Rondon looks a very unhappy man as he makes his way off the field, and Gardner comes on sporting a very large head bandage, courtesy of a head injury he picked up not so long ago. So West Brom, who held the lead for 12 minutes, that goal from Sessegnon cancelled out, and City are level through an Aguero penalty. And they have it with Navas inside West Brom territory, and Bonnie's been penalised for a foul on Sandro. West Brom have a free kick pretty much in line with the edge of the centre circle. Wilfred Bonnie apologises, and Johnny Evans will take the resulting free kick. I'm going to ask you in a second, when we see this move develop, about Wilfred Bonnie, Andy, because he just seems to lack a bit of confidence and self-belief. And when you're a striker, that is something that is a quality you really just have to possess. It's not quite been the move that he was hoping for, and indeed City were hoping for when they recruited him. But I'm going to hold fire on that debate, because West Brom have won a corner, and they are a threat from set pieces. It's going to be an in-swinging corner from James McLean. Now they're playing all their corners, Andy, in-swingers, and City are playing all theirs out-swingers.
I believe this is more dangerous if they can get the timing of this right. They've got so many big, they're trying to try something, and they're getting more and more frustrated on the bench because he's getting it wrong.
Well, City are going to counter-attack here with Fabian Delph. Delph is at pace. He plays it into Aguero. Aguero now, I have to say, West Brom now have 7 behind the ball. Now 8 behind the ball, now 9 behind the ball. How did that happen so quickly? Here's Kolarov, though. He might think about shooting, and he does. And it takes a ricochet and goes out for a corner.
Yeah, there's one player you want in the Premier League football with the ball 25 yards out on his left foot, with players backing off, is Kolarov, because he's got a phenomenal strike. And it's just took a little deflection which has lifted it over. But really positive. We broke very quick, but credit to them, their desire to get back behind the ball is immense.
Interestingly, Andy, Nasri's going to take an in-swinger from the right-hand side, which is about time too, or actually from West Brom's right-hand side, I should say. And it's a much better ball, and City almost score from it with Mangala at the near post, and that is why we wanted in-swinging corners.
Well, maybe they thought after 5 we'll change it. We're going to get that many today, we'll mix it up. It's into a good area and it's a positive movement.
Such a threat, that near post corner, when it's in-swung like that. Mangala threw himself at it and it was just over the bar. I mean, as a defender, Andy, would you always prefer an out-swinging corner to defend than an in-swinger?
When it's actually swung in as a defender, you're then going towards the ball because it's swinging in at the right angle. Where when it's swinging away from you, it's always a little bit more difficult. But if you get the timing right and the runs right, then it's very effective, the in-swinging corner.
City have it with Aguero on the halfway line. He tries to turn away from Fletcher, who makes the tackle. And City now are in a position where they know that West Brom, even though they've conceded a goal, are not doing anything different because a draw will suit them. So Wilfred Bonney, Andy, I saw him for a season and a half at Swansea. He had a swagger about him. He looked as though he would score every time he hit the pitch. How difficult is it for a player to find confidence when they've lost it?
Well, what it was, I mean, he's the main man at Swansea. Okay, so he's the one that everybody else is aspiring to be, trying to go past him, and he knows he's got that that accolade's been put on him, and he's strong, and you know he's a top man. But it's for me, it's that second striker syndrome at City, because if we look at Dzeko and we look at Negredo, they're always playing knowing with the knowledge that if Sergio's fit, he plays, and that's how we play, you know. And so I just think not so much a lack of confidence, a lack of belonging maybe, and a knowledge that, you know what, I'm not going to be involved if Sergio's fit, and I think that's very hard to accept when you think you're a world-class striker, as all them three I've mentioned believe they are, and they believe they're the best in that position, and they know that they're not going to play if Sergio's fit. Then it does knock the stuffing out of you rather than a confidence. This becomes a point where they accept, I'm not going to play, and I think that's the point where they have to move on. Because I'm sure they're sold a story to come to the club. Look, if you get in and you do well, you'll play. But you know, after a season or two, as everyone else that's been in, they know they can't dislodge him because he's in the top 5 in the world, Sergio. So it's going to take some player to actually be ahead of him.
And that's obviously because City played 4-2-3-1 ostensibly, and therefore, today they're playing with 2 up top, so it gives Bonney the chance to play off Aguero.
Yeah, or vice versa. You know, it looks more like it's Bonney up top and Sergio's been coming into little holes. Oh, they have changed it over the last few minutes. But I think we'll see Sergio drift back into midfield.
Well, I suppose that's why City only went into the season with 2 strikers rather than what a lot of teams like to do, which is 3 or 4. Anyway, West Brom have it inside City territory with the bandaged Gardner, who plays it in field to Fletcher, another former Manchester United player in the West Brom ranks. Sessegnon turns away from trouble and plays it out wide, but the pass is poor and it's out for a Manchester City throw midway inside the City half. Taken quickly to Navas. Navas turns away well. It's amazing how often Navas is picked for big games, as he was for the Paris Saint-Germain game in midweek. He's one of Manuel Pellegrini's go-to players in the big matches, isn't he, Andy?
I think if you're playing 2 up top, or 2 lads that, you know, they're even more today with Nasri with 3, you need somebody that can do the job of 2 players, and Navas, he never falls short in that area. He works hard, he's relentless, he tracks back, he covers in, and you know, if you look at the 3 who are up top at the moment, there's not a great deal of defensive thinking in their play. So, you know, he is vital to us, which then allows, if he shuffles back into the midfield, it allows them 2 midfielders to get across and perhaps cover Nasri, who, I mean, if we look now, Nasri's gone central and Aguero's gone, so it looks like them 3 have got a free to do what they want today.
Yeah, when you look at City, they're almost 4-3-3 today rather than 4-2-3-1. Nasri just easing his way back into position now because West Brom are on the counter-attack, and Dawson plays it long, McLean heads it down, and Navas makes a terrific challenge, but it breaks for Sessegnon. Sessegnon on the edge of the penalty area, hit by Gardner, just past the post. West Brom fashioned a chance there, and Gardner drags it maybe a couple of feet beyond the post.
Yeah, you know, at times we forget that these are Premier League players, and it's a great disguised ball into the front man. It's a layoff and a shot, you know, and they're good players. You know, they're Premier League footballers, so we have to accept that not just organised and drilled, they're also going to cause us problems when they get in that final third. Very good play, build-up play from them.
Well, City have it where they want it, inside West Brom territory. Nasri's caught. Foul by Sandro. Free kick taken very quickly, straight to Aguero. Aguero inching his way to the edge of the area, nudges it out wide to Nasri. Nasri now to the edge of the penalty area, plays it infield to Aguero. Aguero muscled out of it by Sandro. And he's getting further and further away from goal all the time. Plays it to Kolarov, the only man in support really. Kolarov plays it out wide to Nasri in the left wing position, still 40 yards from goal. He gets a little bit closer to the goal and plays it to Aguero, who nudges it back to Nasri, but it's too firm and it's gathered in by Foster.
Yeah, it's inventive, but it does look to me like them three have been given, you know, maybe if one of you can go and cover the left side, but they've been given a free role, three of them, to try and cause problems, and Navas has got to keep his shape and work very hard, almost like you said, a 4-3-3 without the ball. You'll see Navas drop now back into midfield and the other three will stay up.
Well, both head coaches are to the edge of their technical area. Manuel Pellegrini barking out some instructions. Tony Pulis right in front of James Chester, who's about to take a throw right on the halfway line. He plays it backwards to Johnny Evans, another ex-Manchester United player, and there are quite a few ex-Reds in this West Bromwich Albion lineup. Johnny Evans, James Chester, and of course Darren Fletcher, who is the skipper for West Bromwich Albion. And we're just getting a shot of Vincent Kompany in the stands watching on, and unfortunately for him, he spent quite a lot of this campaign watching. 12 starts he's made in the Premier League this season. It's a statistic which has told you just why City have struggled so many times this campaign, because as much as they bought the likes of Otamendi and Mangala and co, there is no one quite like the skipper at the heart of the Manchester City defence. They are actually the top scorers in the Premier League in home matches this season, City. It's defensively that they've had their problems here.
Yeah, and you know, I'd like to see what that ratio is in games that Vinny Kompany's played in, because he does give us such a stronger dimension.
Well, City have scored 40 goals, but at the moment they might concede as Sessinongo's battering through, and he's claimed a handball and he's got it right on the edge of the penalty area. Handball, he drove at City Sessignon, and he hit a shot which bounced up and it hit the arm of, is it Mangala? Oh, it hit his knee.
There.
Oh,
no, it was there.
Or is it the Delph one afterwards?
I think it's just punched it away with his hand.
It's a handball against Mangala, and I think it bounced up and hit Delph on the arm as well. So I would reckon it would be about, what, 20 yards from goal. It couldn't be much more central. Now, I've commentated on Craig Gardner a few times in his career, and he has scored about a half a dozen free kicks from exactly this position. It is, if anything, perhaps a little bit too close for a free kick.
I'd go with that. It's one that maybe needs to be moved a yard, but listen, if he can get it up over the wall from that distance, then fair play to him.
Well, he is a very good free kick taker, Craig Gardner, and City will be hoping he gets this one wrong. Gardner steps up, and it's straight into the middle of the wall, and then Sessignon almost got on the end of the ricochet, and it's back in again, and it's cleared by Otamendi. City are not looking watertight at the back, and that is a high boot from Gardner, and he will get yellow carded. Yellow card for Gardner, foul on Navas, and he complains.
Let's have a look.
No, it's only a yellow card, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a few calling for a red, but he was going for the ball, he just missed it. And I think a yellow card's right from Mike Jones. For a red card, it has to be out of control, and he definitely wasn't out of control. So City haven't looked at their tightest at the back today, you have to say. And there's been 2 or 3 scares for them, even though they are level.
See, I don't mind that, Ali, occasionally. You know, we play all our little intricate passing, but you just sometimes you turn the opposition round and you hit a diagonal pass like that, and it just upsets what they're used to. And we got the ball back in a different area. Just try and mix things up a little bit.
Well, Zabaleta sweeps it out wide to Navas in the right wing position, and he's stopped very quickly by McLean, who's working hard as an auxiliary left back whenever West Brom are out of possession. Kolarov now just inside West Brom territory, plays it backwards into his own half for Mangala. Mangala plays it to Otamendi. Otamendi still inside City territory, plays it to Zabaleta, who loses out to McLean and then wins it back again, Zaba. And now he has Gardner for company, and he has to play it back to Mangala. Mangala nudges it forward, he's given it away. City have won it back again though with Otamendi, and they're really struggling to get the ball into West Brom territory. Aguero now has it round about the halfway line. He is so elusive. Plays it to Fernando. Fernando in field to Mangala. City just about crossing the halfway line now with Nasri in the left wing position. Kolarov on his overlap. Plays it in field instead to Delph. Delph turns away from trouble. Plays it inside to Bonney. Bonney to Nasri. Nasri out wide to Kolarov. Kolarov towards Nasri again. City trying to get to the edge of the West Brom penalty area. Fernando now joins in. Now Zabaleta. Zabaleta can't get away past Gardner, and it breaks for him, and he plays it to Navas, and City have a throw. Well, Vincent Kompany is not where he wants to be today, with a watching brief, with a cup of coffee in his hand, but that is all that he can do today. He's making good progress in his latest battle against a calf problem, and there are one or two whispers that he may be fit for Tuesday night, but it does seem a very quick recovery from a calf injury. Anyway, Nasri has it on the edge of the area, but he's well defended. He plays it out towards Aguero. Aguero guides it in towards Zabaleta, headed away by McLean. One back by Delph. Fernando heads it on towards Navas in the right wing position. Navas, with plenty of West Brom players in front of him, goes in field to Nasri. It's about midway inside the West Brom half, and City are finding it hard to break West Brom down. Here's Delph. Delph nudges it out wide to Kolarov. Kolarov, who won that penalty which Aguero scored. Kolarov plays it back to Nasri. Nasri now tucks it inside. Well, he looked as though he was going to, but he keeps the ball. Now goes outside instead to Fabian Delph, and back in field to Nasri again. Now Aguero on the edge of the area, can't find a way through. Kolarov wins it, plays it in field to Fernando. Fernando to Zabaleta. Zabaleta out wide to Navas. Navas now tries to take on McLean, and no foul, says the assistant. Navas thought he'd been fouled. Referee says no.
It's a definite foul. It's a definite foul, and the linesman probably doesn't want to undermine the referee by giving it. It's a foul. It's a poor decision.
Well, West Brom have it on the halfway line, and they go backwards. Back to Johnny Evans, who I don't think wanted it. And West Brom have a throw. Well, the referee is being booed, and his linesman's being booed, because Navas looked as though he was fouled by McLean. But nothing was given.
You can't go and shove two hands into his chest when he goes past you and not expect to get a foul.
Well, he got away with one there, McLean. Johnny Evans plays it to Chester. Chester nudges it inside to Sandro. Sandro plays it towards Dawson, and Dawson goes back to his goalkeeper. And it's thumped away by Foster up towards Sessegnon on halfway. Here's Fletcher on the halfway line, who gets beyond Delph and plays it towards McLean. I think that'll go out of play. No, McLean's done well. Good acceleration. Keeps it in play, just about. Fletcher has it. Trying to make progress. He plays it out wide to Dawson. Dawson plays it to Sessegnon. Sessegnon turns away, and West Brom are trying to build something, but it's not really making too much progress. But now they are. Sessegnon into the penalty area, and it's cleared by Zabaleta.
And they're not so keen to cross it without Rondon in there.
Well, they're not, but they did well there. Here's Aguero, back defending for City. That's a late challenge by Sandro, and a free kick to Manchester City.
Great turn acceleration from Sergio. He really is exceptional at times. The fans showing their appreciation.
Navas leaves it, comes to Bonney. Bonney inside West Brom territory. turns away and plays it backwards. Here's Delph now. Delph in centre field, plays it out wide to Kolarov. Kolarov now plays it in towards Bonney, and it's another City corner.
I think if any fullback, any winger wants to see how to cross a ball, I mean, Kolarov has got to be one of the best in the world. Look at this, there's no space, and it's right on the button. And all Navas should be doing is gambling across the fullback on the inside shoulder. If it goes out the other side, it's not a problem, but he'll never score a goal while he stays on the outside shoulder. Go and have a gamble, see if you can score a goal.
Well, City have an out-swinging corner from Nasri. Mangala tries to head it in. There's a clash of heads, and nobody particularly gets control of the ball. Mangala's a bit slow to get off his haunches. I think he took the brunt of that blow. Nasri now in a crossing position. It's above the head of Bonney and cleared as far as Fletcher, who'll get it further away, up towards Sessegnon on the Berahino rather on the halfway line. Berahino plays it inside, and it goes towards Fletcher. Fletcher drills it in towards Sessegnon, who stretches out a boot and plays it out towards McLean. This is a good position for West Brom, creeping into the Manchester City penalty area. Zabaleta with the block, and it's out for a throw. McLean believes that West Brom should have won a penalty from Zabaleta's block. Nothing doing. City have it back. Now with Nasri. Nasri nudges it on to Kolarov, crossing the halfway line. Kolarov at pace, brings in Aguero in the left wing position. Aguero plays it to Nasri in field. Nasri on towards Bonney, and it's gathered in by Foster.
Just little signs that they're just beginning to tire a touch.
Well, McLean was claiming a penalty. Zabaleta blocked the ball, and because it's a slippy day, he slipped to the floor, and as he fell to the floor, the back of his elbow touched the ball. Well, if that's the definition of a deliberate handball, and I'm afraid the definition isn't how I understand it. McLean, meanwhile, gets round the outside of Zabaleta, comes to the edge of the City penalty area. Zabaleta now leaves it for Chester. Chester around the outside, and it's a West Brom corner. Navas intervenes. So West Brom have a corner. Incidentally, the goal that Aguero scored was his 11th of 2016. No player in the Premier League has scored more. Worth bearing in mind, by the way, that it was his 23rd goal of the season, his 18th in the Premier League, and if you bear in mind this is only his 24th Premier League start, it shows you what an injury-plagued season he's had. Anyway, here is the aforementioned Aguero, who's moving pretty freely now as he crosses the halfway line, and he takes on Johnny Evans, and he still takes on Evans, and he still goes, and he still has it inside the penalty area. Charged down, it reaches Fabian Delph. Delph in the shooting position decides to play it to Kolarov. Kolarov back to Fernando. Fernando now to Zabaleta. Zabaleta to the edge of the penalty area, but he goes out wide instead to Navas. Navas creeps in towards Aguero, and Fletcher back to Foster, who thumps it away. It's headed away by Sandro. McLean on the counter-attack, but Otamendi clears. Infield it goes to Fletcher. Fletcher on to Berahino. Berahino wants it, but it goes instead towards Fletcher again. Out it goes to Chester. Chester to McLean. McLean looks for the return ball. He's not going to get to it, and Zabaleta clears. Well, here's the statistics so far in this first half. I'm sure they'll show Andy Morrison that City have had more possession than West Brom. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we expected that. I mean, there's nothing surprising there. It's the way they play. We've kept the ball. We've not got enough attempts on goal. You know, they've had more than us. Which
just
tells
the one
story.
on target.
Yeah, we don't get enough shots off, and we don't cause them enough problems in that final third for all the possession we're having. And there has to be an end game to what we're trying to do. You know, and I sometimes I don't see it at home.
Well, there's been 2 attempts on target, 1 each, and it's 1-1. That tells you everything. Sessegnon's early goal for West Bromwich Albion, and the equaliser from the penalty spot from Sergio Aguero. In reality, City haven't fashioned enough chances. There's been a couple of crosses, one in particular from Kolarov that flew across the face of the goal, but they haven't broken West Brom down enough. Now then, Aguero from a mistake by West Bromwich Albion. 2 for City against 3 for West Brom. Nasri into the penalty area. Nasri can't find a way past, and the impetus has been lost. And he'll have to go backwards, Samir Nasri. And he finds Aguero. Aguero in towards Wilfred Bonnet, headed away. It'll come as far as Aguero again. Aguero clips it in, it's headed away for a third time. Nasri now on the corner of the penalty area. 2 West Brom players in front of him. Nasri tries to sell a dummy or two, nothing doing. Plenty of West Brom cover. Kolarov on the outside, back in field it goes to Nasri. Nasri in towards Bonnet's header, and it's a goal kick.
Very patient, but again, you know, you've got 3 big centre-halves and you've got Sandro dropping in there as well. Very difficult to find a cross from that kind of angle to get any power. There's no pace on the ball.
Well, I'm sure the reason that Manuel Pellegrini's gone with Bonnet today is to try and occupy those big centre-backs, but the crossing hasn't really given him an opportunity to attack anything.
No, and it's coming from them, those in-swingers from that area. It's always going to favour the centre-half. You know, it's got to be from the touchline pull back where he'll get some joy.
Well, we're approaching the end of the first half. City 1, West Brom 1. Here's Bonnet into West Brom territory. His pass is overhit. It was a good idea, but it was overhit. And Aguero looks disappointed. Added time now at the end of the first half, which really hasn't gone the way City were hoping for at all. They really haven't been at the races. They've not been fluent enough. They've had lots of possession without being incisive, and they conceded the early goal to Sessegnon, cancelled out by the penalty from Aguero. Here's Berahino with Otamendi behind him. West Brom now looking to build the final attack of the first half. Sessegnon in a wide right position, faced by Kolarov. Still with Sessegnon. Inside he goes, outside he goes, crossed in towards where he hoped Berahino might prosper. Fletcher picks it up for West Brom. The cross in goes out off Kolarov for a corner. And the half will end with City defending a corner. Well, the last thing City want is to concede a goal right on half-time, but they're going to have to defend a corner. Gardner's gone to take it for West Bromwich Albion, which means it will be an outswinger. And Dawson is forward, and Evans is now making his way into the area, and so too is Macaulay. And it's headed away by Kolarov and thumped further by Fernando. Back in it goes, it's cleared by Zabaleta and up towards Nasri and helped on by Delph and into the path of Navas, and City on towards Delph again. This is a good counter-attack. City have plenty forward. Nasri now towards the edge of the penalty area, but forced away by Sandro, who makes a good tackle. And now West Brom have 10 back defending. And that's the end of the first half. City 1, West Bromwich Albion 1. Sessegnon with the early goal that gave City a real fright, tucking the ball in with Joe Hart a little bit unsighted. Then Kolarov was brought down. Aguero equalised from the penalty spot. But in truth, it's been pretty flat, Andy Morrison.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the goal, you know, it was coming at a terrible time, but we've equalised, we're back in the game, and I'd expect us to go on and win this game now. You know, like we say, we've got great options on the bench to freshen things up in the second half, and they're going to do what they do. They're going to continually get players behind the ball. They're going to stifle the play. They're going to slow it down. They'll leave here with a point now. They'd go now. But I just think that we've got too much quality. Again, I've been disappointed with Bonnie. I don't think he's really done enough there today to sort of say, I'm desperate to stay at this club. I'm desperate to play. You know, so maybe Iheanacho would be a different give them a different kind of problem, and a fresh legs and some enthusiasm, because you know his body language doesn't say to me that he really wants to go and, you know, you've got to play me on Tuesday night. I'm going to be so good today. I'm going to cause problems. I'm going to occupy defenders. I'm going to link play, and you know, and it has been a disappointing period with him. He just doesn't give us enough when he plays, and I'm sure that'll be pointed out to him at half time. You've got to give us more.
Okay, the thoughts there of former skipper Andy Morrison. In a moment we're going to have the thoughts of a couple of fans with Kelly, but that is it for the first half action. Myself and Andy will take a little break, but stay with us. We'll get the thoughts of some fans with Kelly when you rejoin.
Okay, well, welcome back to CityTV Live. It's, of course, our half-time analysis, and we've got our fans with us today, Nathan and Daniel. Nice to meet you both, gents. First of all, your opinions on that first half?
Well, I just think that it's been a bit flat from City. There's not been much pressure towards the middle. I think that we're giving far too much space in the middle to like Gardner and Fletcher. Sessegnon strikes pretty good through the legs of Kolarov. I don't think that Joe Hart had much to do with it. I've heard that he's been getting a lot of stick on Twitter and stuff for just being rooted to the spot, but I think that with the pace that the ball came through the legs of Kolarov, I don't think that Joe Hart could have done much with his strike. But on a whole, I think that City can press a bit quicker, get the pace going a bit more, and then start knocking the ball around like we should.
You mentioned there about it being a flat first half. Do you think that's down to that early goal? That really did seem to take the stuffing out of us, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Just, you know, it didn't help with our kind of morale, and you know, we needed to kind of up the pace and get out and really close them down quicker than we did.
I think the thing that what we've been this year in most games, I think, is consistently inconsistent, whereby if we don't start quickly and we don't get the goal, a lot of things can go badly for us. I.e., if West Brom got the goal today, the heads was down, there wasn't that pace in the midfield. Fernando's a bit off the pace, I thought, and then it just gave West Brom the space to create more chances for themselves and put us on the back foot, and that's not how it should be at home.
What would you think about the way we've looked defensively?
Throughout the season or through the game?
In particular today. Let's go with today.
Today we've not been too bad, but I think, again, not pressing high enough, not pressing quickly enough. not retrieving the ball fast enough from the West Brom players. And I think that if you're giving players like West Brom's players the space to play the ball, they have got the ability to do so, and I think they can cause us some trouble.
Yeah, definitely.
Equally though, West Brom have made it very difficult, haven't they, going forwards? They've attempted to stifle us at every opportunity, haven't they?
Yeah, but again, we're the home side, so we should be pressing them. They're pressing us, and they're making us look like the away side. I think without a few of the standout performers that we've had in our team this year, we could be very easily a mid-table side. We could be the Chelseas of what's happening this season to them.
Okay, that's a big claim to make. What do you think?
I don't necessarily agree 100% with that, but you know, I think we have to rest key players and, you know, keep rotating the players where possible, and, you know, focus on, say, the game on Tuesday, and, you know, try and get a result here. We should be able to beat these with the players that we've got on the pitch. You know, just need to come out stronger in the second half.
Okay, let's talk about Nasri. Do you think he's looked sharp on his return?
He's looked okay. He's not been the Nasri of old, but obviously with games out and games coming back, you've got to have minutes under your belt and start having the consistency to play football. But I think Nasri's fitness this year has not been 100%, so I don't think you can look at this game in particular and think this is going to be the Nasri for the future. And I think that he does still deserve a future at this club.
Missed him though, haven't we?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. I think in games like the games today and say like Stoke, if they put a few back behind the ball, Nasri can easily pick up those pockets of space with his dribbling and cut inside and create those gaps that we have missed. Like De Bruyne, when he was out, he can do a similar sort of thing, pick up the pockets of space that we haven't actually had this year.
Of course, it was a goal for Aguero. I don't know if you know, but it's his 200th.
81st goal? 200?
It's his 200th appearance today.
Yeah, 200th appearance and 81st at the Etihad goal, is it?
Wow. Is it? I don't know, you tell me.
I think it's his 81st at the Etihad today, yeah.
Wow, stats man there,
Yeah.
Opta sat with us. Just how fantastic is he? We were talking about this earlier, you almost run out of ways to describe him, don't you?
The thing I think with Aguero is that he can be out of a game for 60 minutes if we're not having the ball, and he can all of a sudden just bring you that moment of magic and produce a goal for you, and I think that's what the City fans love, and I think football fans in general love about Aguero.
Yep.
Okay, second half then. If you're Manuel now, would you be looking to make any changes?
I don't think particularly right now I would make any changes at half time, but I think I'd be looking to take Bonnie off. I don't think Bonnie, but for me this year, I think it's been a bit difficult with Bonnie, but he doesn't seem to be getting in the box like he was for Swansea, and he seems to be always 10 yards outside the box, and I think Bonnie's main qualities are being inside the box and being a poacher and being strong inside the box, and I don't think he's producing that for us at the moment.
I think he just struggles with our style of play, doesn't he?
It doesn't always necessarily suit him, does it?
No. Just, you know, build-up play, isn't it? And it's not. He doesn't necessarily hold it up well and stuff. And it's not. I think it's just because he's not Aguero in some aspects. He gets a lot of grief. But,
I think we look for Bonnie to be the hold-up player, though, the player that we brought him in to be. Like a Negredo, when we had Negredo, he was brilliant at holding the ball up and linking up with Aguero, but I think Bonnie was brought in to do a similar sort of thing as what he was doing at Swansea. You know, and I just don't think he's pulled it off quite as easily at City, with maybe the style of play, I don't know, but I think as a player you should play how you have played in previous clubs and do the good things that got you here in the first place, and I don't think he has.
Okay, so would you give him a little bit more time second half?
Yeah, I'll give him a little bit more time. Again, he's another player that's not been in the team too much this year, and his fitness might not be there, his confidence might not be there, so I think definitely deserves more minutes on the pitch.
Okay, and how do you see the second half going? Possibly more goals in this for West Brom. Do you think they'll get tired? Do you think it'll be a matter of our quality will eventually show through?
I think towards the end of the second half, they always like to pick the ball up a bit more, letting West Brom sit back a bit further. Hopefully, if we continue the way that we went out in that second half, that we should put a couple of goals away and hopefully keep a clean sheet in the second half.
It just depends if we come out strong, doesn't it? If we come back sitting back again and let West Brom come at us, it'll give them a bit more confidence. We need to close them down quick and start pressing.
Well, either way, you'd hope so. We have to win. Must win game today.
Yep.
All right, thank you very much, Nathan. Thank you very much, Daniel. We are going to have a quick break before the teams come back out for the second half.
Just looking to see whether or not City have made any changes at half-time. Doesn't look as though they have. Welcome back for the second half here at the Etihad Stadium. City 1, West Brom 1. The early goal from Stefan Sessignon that stuns the Etihad Stadium into silence. And the equaliser from the penalty spot from Sergio Aguero, making it 1-1. City's 40th goal of the season, 10 more than any other side have scored in a home game, in their home games rather, in the Premier League this season. Just shows you how prolific City have been, but also shows you that they have rather been too leaky at the back, which is very, very unlike them. Well, alongside me is former City skipper Andy Morrison, and I think you were saying at the end of that first half that I think Wilfred Bony needs to show a little bit more in this formation, really, where he's got a real opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he gets at opportunities and never does enough for me. And I think sometimes, you know, I go back to my time of playing here when we had players like Paul Dickoff, you know, people who perhaps didn't have the greatest of what these lads can offer, but he had a huge heart and people bought into that, you know, and it caused problems for opposition defenders, and it was infectious and had players running and people wanted to work hard, you know, because they saw the energy that he was giving. And sometimes I watch and I just think, you're not giving enough, you know, you're not giving enough, not just for yourself, but to your teammates, to your club, to your fans. They expect more than what we're actually seeing. And, you know, nobody more than me wants to see our players do well. But, you know, it's a good start. It's a good start.
Well, Mangala has it round about the halfway line. He plays it to colour off in field towards Fabian Delph. Just worth bearing in mind today that if City don't win and Manchester United were to beat Spurs tomorrow, City would end the weekend in 5th. So it is a big afternoon for City. West Ham and Arsenal have drawn, and if City can win, they'll go 2 points behind Arsenal, 4 above United and 5 above West Ham. Aguero's just been fouled in the middle area of the West Brom half. Johnny Evans has been penalised. Aguero hopping around and
just caught him on the toes.
Right on the end of the toe, isn't it?
Yeah. His feet are that quick, and sometimes it looks clumsy, but he moves the ball that quick, and defenders sell themselves, you know, and his centre of gravity is so small that he changes direction, and he makes the best defenders look average at times.
Well, one thing you can say is that Aguero has been all over the pitch today. This particular formation with Bony as the spearhead means Aguero can go wherever he fancies, and he's even made a defensive tackle in the left-back position during the first half. He's got that kind of appetite, Sergio Aguero. But City have a lot on the bench if they want to try and alter things. They have the likes of De Bruyne, they have the likes of Fernandinho, of Yaya Touré, of Iheanacho. So there are options if things aren't going the way Manuel Pellegrini wants them to. How long would you leave it at 1-1, Andy, if it stays the same?
Well, I think anyone that comes on wants half an hour. You know, they want to, you know, that 10 minutes left in the game. I don't think it gives them a chance to get a feel for the pace of the game. So around 60 minutes, although if it was a positive change, I wouldn't mind seeing it at half-time. You know, you just pointed out something there which horrifies me, that we could drop out the top 4 tomorrow. So, as you said, it's a must-win game.
Yeah, City began the match, I should say, 5 points behind Arsenal, a point above United, 2 in front of West Ham. So anything other than a City victory, and it means United can overtake them. And as I mentioned, next weekend, United are surely going to win. They're at home to Aston Villa. And City have got a very tricky game at Stamford Bridge. So They absolutely need to win this game today against West Brom, and Aguero and co are well aware of that fact. I say Aguero and co because he was just on the ball as I was describing the situation City find themselves in, and now it goes out wide to Zabaleta, and he plays it to Navas on the right wing position towards the edge of the West Brom penalty area, faced as ever by a wall of red with black shorts and black socks. The West Bromwich Albion team set up well, and it now switches to the left-hand side with Kolarov, and he plays it to Delph, and it breaks for Delph a second time. Now Nasri to the corner of the West Brom penalty area. Delph and Kolarov trying to combine. Delph goes in and just loses his footing at the vital moment, and away comes Fletcher, who wins a free kick to West Bromwich Albion. Foul by Fernando.
A clever bit of play from Fletcher, showing experience. He's nowhere to go, there's nothing up front, so he wins a foul, very clever.
Well, West Brom have won just one of the last 6 Premier League games. They've won just one of the last 10 on their travels. Only Aston Villa have a worse goals per game ratio than West Bromwich Albion. It tells you that their strength is not going forward. Bonny tries to get away from Sandro, he's fouled, and it's a free kick to Manchester City, round about 10 yards inside their own half. There's a lot of activity on the sideline. The likes of De Bruyne, Iheanacho and Toure are going through their paces. And unless it's just a threat to those on the field, it looks as though a change may happen sooner rather than later. Here's Aguero inside West Brom territory. He sweeps it out wide to Zabaleta. Zabaleta in the right wing position, plays it even wider to Navas. The cross doesn't get very far. Navas retrieves it again and plays it to Fernando, and Fernando to Nasri. City probing towards the edge of the penalty area but not finding a way into it. Kolarov turns backwards and plays it to Mangala, and Mangala out wide to Aguero in the left wing position. He comes in field a little bit, guides it on towards Bonny, but it's in the possession of Foster.
Again, it's trying to find, I'd much rather see Sergio up there at the point, and maybe a De Bruyne, so it's a swap for me. It's just De Bruyne on and play on that left side, and Sergio go up top, because the little passing around the box is where we need Sergio on the shoulder of the last defender, not coming into them pockets and trying to do what David Silva does. We lose his effect in that final third.
Well, while City can't relax and have to keep going for Premier League points, Paris Saint-Germain have already won the Premier League, or the Ligue 1 title in France. Indeed, they've won it by more than 20 points, it seems. So they can rest all 12, 13, 14 players if they want. But City have to keep going. Here's Bonny, who tries the shot, it deflects and just pops up for Foster. It was an ambitious attempt from Wilfred Bonny from about 25 yards.
Well, I thought again his first touch is poor. He's not got it out of his body to get his shot off. He's trying to strike it from underneath his body because his first touch doesn't move the ball. And we'll see it again.
Berahino has it inside City territory and his pass is poor, and City have the throw. Well, the pattern of the first half is bound to be the same in the second. City in possession of the ball, West Brom saying break us down if you can. And so far the opening 8 minutes of the second half have been exactly the same of the 45 minutes of the first, with City doing what they can to try and force West Brom into an error. City throw on the halfway line, which Zabaleta takes and plays it to Aguero. Aguero back to Zabaleta on the halfway line. Played in towards Bonny, who lays it back to Aguero, and Aguero sweeps it out wide towards Kolarov. Kolarov in the left wing position, plays it further out wide to Nasri, who plays it to Aguero. Aguero has probably had more touches of the ball than any other player out there Nasri now goes in field, plays it inside to Fernando. Fernando now some 30 to 35 yards from goal, plays it to Delph. Delph plays it out wide to Kolarov. Kolarov has 2 or 3 West Brom players in front of him, so goes in field to Fernando, and now with Aguero who shoots, and Foster tips it wide. Typical Aguero.
Yeah, he moved the ball 2 or 3 yards, gets a great shot off. The keeper will be expected to save that, but again, he looks our main danger, you know, continually, and I think it probably will be until we get De Bruyne on the pitch.
Kolarov will take the resulting corner. It's an outswinger and it's easily dealt with. West Brom get it away. And the second time from the second ball. Otamendi plays it to Navas on the edge of the area. Navas tries to find Bonney on the far side. Fletcher thumps it away up towards the halfway line where Zabaleta is waiting. Aguero at the moment is nursing his face. I didn't see what happened, but he's got both gloves to his face. I think he must have taken a blow to the side of his head by the look of it.
He's a tough cookie, he'll be all right.
City have it on the halfway line with Bonney. Bonney turns away. He's got the strength. He's got the right pass as well. He plays it to Navas. Navas inside the penalty area. Now to Aguero. Aguero tiptoes his way through. And Zabaleta slips. And West Brom clear. Otamendi on the halfway line. Plays it forward to Zabaleta. Zabaleta now inside to Aguero. Aguero towards the edge of the penalty area. And his cross isn't the best. And Foster will retrieve possession for West Bromwich Albion. Foster in the right back position, thumps it away up towards Mangala on halfway, and Mangala heads it towards Delph, but it's won back, and then a foul by Mangala and a free kick to West Bromwich Albion. City do not look penetrative enough.
No, it's like we said at the start, it's so hard to break these down. You know, they have 10 players behind the ball when they haven't got it, and you know, maybe some shots from outside the box, crossing a bit more early, you know, and maybe then something will drop in around the box and you get a shot off. It doesn't have to be the perfect goal all the time, we just have to find a way to score a goal, and at the moment it looks very comfy for West Brom.
Well, Aguero is still nursing the side of his face, so he took a blow round about the ear, but West Brom have a free kick, and it's worked out wide towards Sessegnon, who crossed it into Sandro, who took a tumble. West Brom believe that was a penalty. Sandro took a tumble as he was trying to win the header. Tony Pulis says that should have been a penalty to West Bromwich Albion. Mangala behind Sandro, came through the back of him a little bit, but a little bit of backing in as well from Sandro. Is that the right decision from the referee?
It's a penalty.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think it's a penalty. I think it's a poor decision to go and jump in there. And if it was at the other end, I think we'd be screaming for it, you know, because there's no need for him to go and attack that ball. You know, it's and although he's felt him and looked for him, it's still a poor decision by the centre half. And again, now we're on the back foot.
Yes, West Brom have won a corner. Tony Pulis was berating the fourth official because he believed, as Andy Morrison does, that that should have been a penalty. Sandro just bounced to the floor really by Mangala, who was in a bad position behind it. The in-swinging corner is cleared by Bonnet, and West Brom have a throw midway inside City territory. A good defensive header from Wilfred Bonnet. But Kevin De Bruyne is stripped and readied and is about to come on, and your thinking is that Aguero goes to the lead striker, Bonney comes off and De Bruyne are in the hole, yeah?
Yep, that's what I'd like to see. I think that's a real positive move. You know, Kevin will make something happen, and Aguero obviously is our biggest threat up front, but for me he's wasted. Keep coming into midfield and drifting out left.
Well, the ball's played long by Kolarov. It's headed away by Dawson. Dawson heads it towards Fletcher. Fletcher turns it inside towards Sessegnon. Sessegnon to Berahino. Berahino coming towards the edge of the City penalty area. Garden hits it, and it's about 6 or 7 yards wide. Now, City are making a double change. Kevin De Bruyne and Yaya Toure. And Wilfred Bonney's the first man to make way, and I think he knew it was coming. Just doesn't look right at all, does he, Wilfred Bonney? And Fabian Delph is the other one.
Yeah, it's a really, really positive move. We don't want to tempt fate, but I don't think they're offering a real threat, and I just think that's a really positive move. Yaya will get the ball moving. He's got a bit more quality with the ball at his feet, and obviously we know what De Bruyne does. De Bruyne has gone in the hole, Sergio up top.
Well, I suppose echoing the words that you said in the first half, as a substitute you want to make it so that you've got at least half an hour to have an impact, and pretty much right on the 60th minute. That is the double change made by Manuel Pellegrini. Yaya Toure, who is injured, indeed for the last couple of games, is out there. And Kevin De Bruyne, who has been out for a while, but had a good impact in his first game back at Bournemouth, and obviously had a great contribution in the French capital on Wednesday, are now out on the field, and City look a very menacing proposition now, don't they? Kevin De Bruyne.
Threats all over the pitch
yeah.
now.
Nasri is still out there, remember, and Navas is still out there. And City have half an hour to turn 1 point into 3, because it is a big difference between 1 point and 3 at this stage of the season, because, as I mentioned earlier, a draw for City today, a win for Manchester United at White Hart Lane tomorrow, and City are 5th. Anyway, they've got some defending to do, because Sandro has it in the right wing position. He plays it to Berahino. Berahino plays it to an offside Craig Dawson. I've just been handed a cup of tea, which I'm very grateful for, on what is an increasingly cold evening here in Manchester. 5:30 kickoff, remember. So temperatures are dropping from what they were around about lunchtime. City 1, West Brom 1. It's thumped away by Mangala. Up it goes towards De Bruyne, looking for his first touch. Can't get it there because it's won back by Macaulay. Helped on by Garner, but only as far as Zabaleta, who plays it to Navas on halfway. Now with Yaya Toure, who crosses the halfway line with menace. Plays it to Nasri to the left. Nasri has both Aguero and Kolarov to the left-hand side. Here's Aguero. Infield it goes to Toure. Toure out to Nasri. Nasri looking for a runner. Plenty of them. Plays it out wide to Kolarov. Kolarov plays it to Toure infield. Toure plays it to Nasri on the edge of the area. Helped on by De Bruyne. Now with Navas. Navas now inside the penalty area. It's a lovely little dink, but the cross isn't quite good enough. And in the end, Sessegnon will clear it for West Bromwich Albion. Only as far as Aguero. Gets it back from Toure. Aguero into the penalty area. It wouldn't sit for him. And Sandro eventually will clear it for West Bromwich Albion. And another opportunity goes away.
But it's 10 minutes, what are we now, 62, they've been on 3 minutes. You feel a difference in the energy when Yaya's on the pitch and De Bruyne is on the pitch, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it shouldn't take that, should it, to actually ignite the game. But I guess that's what world-class players do. They pick everybody up around, and it's a totally different intensity to what we're doing now.
Well, one thing is for sure. Manchester City are going to spend the next, well, let's say half an hour, because there's bound to be 3 minutes of added time. They're going to spend the next half an hour attacking West Bromwich Albion with wave after wave, and West Brom are just going to do what they do best, which is try and absorb the pressure. Kolarov in the left wing position.
Tries to get beyond a couple of players, and he does momentarily, but Fletcher's there because there are so many West Brom players there that when you elude one of them, there's another red shirt. City in possession all the time. Here is Toure to the edge of the area, plays it to Aguero, now Fernando, now De Bruyne, now Mangala involved. Back it goes to Otamendi, now with Zabaleta. Navas hugging the right-hand touchline. De Bruyne plays it in early. There's nobody there though. Sessegnon's the furthest back, and Dawson thumps it into the darkening skies over the Etihad Stadium. Back it comes with Kolarov. Kolarov plays it backwards to Mangala. Mangala plays it to Toure. Toure on, it's a poor one, and it's a West Brom throw. Well, possession is almost total for Manchester City. They still have Iheanacho warming up as an option. And they'll have a throw just inside West Brom territory. Kolarov bowls it in towards Toure. Toure plays it out wide to Zabaleta. Zabaleta now inside West Brom territory, plays it to Toure at the edge of the centre circle. Toure looking for an option, plays it backwards to Otamendi. Otamendi now towards Fernando. Fernando, it's a triangle of passes, but not much advance from City. Every time a City player looks up, there seems to be 2 or 3 West Brom players in front of them. They are very, very well drilled, and however critical you can be of them for their negativity, what they do well. Now then, De Bruyne tries to advance. It breaks for De Bruyne. Inside towards Navas. Aguero! And again! Yes! Samir Nasri with the goal that matters, and City are in front.
And it's been coming, hasn't it? What are we on now? 66 minutes. That's 8 minutes now they've been on the pitch, and you just can feel the difference what Yaya gives us in this kind of game. You know, yeah, when you're up against opposition who are going to be breaking forward and causing you problems, then it's a different dimension. But at the moment, we need cleverness, guile, and Yaya just... he gives us really what Silva is lacking out there today, and the quality of the passing and the movement is excellent. It's been very, very hard for West Brom now to get anything out of this game.
Well, it is Samir Nasri's second goal of the Premier League season, and you have to have a good memory to remember the last time he was on target. It was at Everton back in August, but he has scored now, and Kevin De Bruyne was an integral part of it. And Samir Nasri tucked in the rebound after Aguero had been denied twice by a combination of Foster and probably McCauley. Now then, City, can you get a third goal? Looks as though you have it within you to do so. Here's Kevin De Bruyne to the edge of the area. Now Sergio Aguero. Aguero inside towards De Bruyne again. De Bruyne out to Nasri, the goal scorer. Back inside to De Bruyne it goes. Look how many City players you can look at and say they can break West Brom down. De Bruyne into the penalty area is offside. He's offside. West Brom free kick. Well, we're just beyond or just approaching the midpoint of the second half, and that early goal from Sessegnon has now been completely wiped out. City are in front.
Yeah, it's positive now, and the place is buzzing, and I guess that's what, when you've got the quality that we have, Ali, to bring onto the pitch, you know, why shouldn't it be like that? You know, we said that before the game when we looked at the options we had, you know, on the bench and how we could change it, and the change has happened, and you know, let's give the manager a bit of credit for a really positive double substitution.
Well, I have to say that one thing I could have predicted was that City would turn this game around and win. One thing I might not have predicted was that it would take the double substitution to do it, because you just felt that it was a good opportunity for Bonny to maybe have an impact, maybe to say to everybody, look, this is what I can do, this is what I'm capable of. Think of me as someone who can come in when required. But he didn't do it today. And as a consequence, it's taken the double change for City to look like they were going to score goals. Here comes Fernando, and now with Aguero. City have 4 involved in a counter-attack. Aguero plays it out to Navas. Navas is forced a little bit wide. Someone looked as though they clipped Aguero, but Navas retains possession. On it goes to Zabaleta, on to Toure. Toure out to Navas out wide. City looking for a 3rd goal now. Navas to the edge of the penalty area. Round the outside he goes. He gives responsibility to Toure rather than Aguero in field. Goes out to Zabaleta. Out it goes to Navas again. Aguero is so busy. He's calling for it. I want it, he says, by the penalty spot, but it's gone deep. Here's Fernando. Out towards Kolarov now. Kolarov to De Bruyne. De Bruyne back to Kolarov. Kolarov tiptoeing in towards Aguero. Aguero now to the edge of the penalty area. Navas hits it right across the face of the goal and out for a goal kick. But City look completely different.
Absolutely. I mean, just have a look at the quality of his feet on Sergio here. The way he moves the ball and buffers people off and then finds the right pass. But because he's pulled out wide, we haven't got actually anybody breaking into space, because he's actually made the set the play up. But he is absolutely phenomenal. You know, he's got to be one of, if not one of the greatest players to ever wear a shirt for the club. You know, I've been seeing him now for 6-7 seasons, and he's absolutely incredible. And it's a pleasure to watch him every week.
Well, West Brom have a rare counter-attack. Berahino to the edge of the Manchester City penalty area. He guides it on to Fletcher. It's back to Berahino. Berahino's tackled well by Zabaleta. Still low with West Brom. And now into the penalty area they go, and he's missed. Berahino. Fantastic opportunity. He tried to bend it round Hart into the corner of the net, and he bent it 3 or 4 feet wide. Threat still there. Oh, it was a good chance. It was a good chance, and it fell to the right player, Berahino.
It looks like it's a poor decision to go to the ball and close it down. I think it was Fernando.
Well, it's City 2, West Brom 1. And just when you're thinking that this is all going to be about City attacking, West Brom just remind you that they have a threat on the counter-attack. But here comes City again with Navas. Navas to the edge of the area, on towards Aguero, and it won't quite break for him, and Foster then belts it out of play, and it's a Manchester City throw. 19 minutes to go.
And just a little warning as well, you know, that these do have a threat. They have good players. I've been impressed every time I've seen Berahino play.
Yeah.
His movement, his first touch is very, very good. And you think, would he give us more of a threat than Bonnie would? He probably would. But when he comes in and he's been here for a season and a half and he's not played many games and he doesn't know he's a top man, probably drift into the same sort of way of thinking at Bonnie. And it must be very, very difficult to come to a club and not be the main man.
Well, I guess there's a lot of people thinking already about next season because of the arrival of Pep Guardiola and whether or not he will play with more attacking players in the side in terms of out-and-out strikers. I suppose when you think of Bayern Munich, they play one up top with Lewandowski and Müller, who's an out-and-out scorer, sort of just off him. So maybe you can accommodate a second out-and-out striker, but in a slightly more withdrawn role.
Yeah, but they, you know, with Ribery and Robben, they have real threats out wide. So, you know, I think we will look to go down a similar route to that, and I think that's what he'll. Do you know, even though he's been out of the picture injured, Samir Nasri, you know, will he be a player that would you know, somebody who's very comfy with the ball, can take it in tight situations. He may fall right into the kind of play that Guardiola wants to do, because I can't really see somebody like Navas.
I'll just stop you because they've got another good counter-attack, West Brom, who are just starting to commit men forward, which the move breaks down in the end, and Toure pokes it out wide. Sorry, Andy, continue.
Yeah, I'm just saying about the type of player that Guardiola, as in a Nasri, would probably be suited more than a Navas, because he wants players that are, you know, the ball's their friend and they're comfy. But
the cross comes in.
Offside.
And Berahino puts it wide, and And the flag didn't go up. Andy Morrison shouts offside. 50,000 City fans shout offside. Offside is not the decision, and Berahino from in front of Joe Hart ought to put the ball into the back of the net. He didn't. Just why the flag didn't go up, I've no idea. And City have been let off there. What a let-off that was for Manchester City. Berahino was well offside.
He's had a poor day, the linesman. You know, it's a really bad day at the office. He's got a blatant foul in the first half, and that's so obvious. I just think he's trying to be clever. You know, he's saying that maybe it was a deflection off Kolarov, which has put it in there. But the ball was played forward, so I've no idea what he's thinking. Poor decision again.
Well, Berahino was claiming it should have been a corner, but the reality was it should have been a free kick to Manchester City for offside. City have got away with that because that was a really poor decision by Andy Garrett, the assistant referee on the near side. And West Brom have won themselves a corner, and to be fair to them, they have come out of their shell since conceding that goal.
And I think that's with any Tony Pulis side. You know, they have a way of playing, but they also have quality players. Now what that will do is allow us to counter them, and you know, inevitably you'll get the third goal, but they will be a major threat now for the last 15 minutes, because they will sort of take the shackles off a little bit and have a go, but it should create chances for us. I'd like to see us just maybe shore up the midfield now. I think Nasri's legs are
yeah, Nasri.
Yeah,
the first start for him in 8 months.
Yeah, he looks tired now, so maybe I'm not sure what options we've got there, but
Iheanacho or Fernandinho, which would you go for? City have it though with
Fernandinho, and I put him in and just shore up the midfield.
Well, Sessegnon has it for a West Brom team who are starting to believe there's an equaliser here in them, but they've lost the ball in a good area for City to counter-attack. Navas has it, tries to go round the outside of Chester, who makes the tackle, and City have a throw round about the halfway line. 15 minutes or thereabouts to go at the Etihad. Manchester City 2, West Bromwich Albion 1. Sessegnon gave West Brom the lead inside 5 minutes. Aguero from the penalty spot made it 1-1. Nasri put City in front 2-1. And since then, West Brom have had a couple of really good opportunities, one of which I feel Berahino ought to have scored, even though he ought to have been flagged in reality for being offside. So the scares have been there for City, who do not have the 3 points just yet, but what they do have is a free kick inside West Brom territory. Andy Morrison just surveying the Manchester City options as to what City could do next. Free kick they've taken quickly. Aguero's through, and Foster saves with his legs. A really clever free kick taken by Yaya Toure, and Aguero was through on goal, and it was a brilliant save with the legs of Foster. West Brom looking to come on the counter-attack. Here is Sessegnon. On it goes from Dawson, now Sandro, now Fletcher, inside City territory. Sessegnon look a different team since they've gone back to 2-1 behind. Sessegnon guides it forward, headed away by Otamendi, cleared further by De Bruyne. On it goes though towards Johnny Evans. City having to defend a little bit now. Fletcher plays it forward, in towards Berahino. Berahino tussling with Otamendi. The shot comes in from McLean. It's cleared by Fernando. City a little bit stretched there. Worrying times these for City. Game not won. Fernando though wins it back for City and tries to advance forward. He plays it to Nasri, Zabaleta rather. Zabaleta turns and plays it to Navas. Navas in towards Fernando on the halfway line. Zabaleta on to Navas again. Navas pokes it through for Fernando. West Brom with it back again though. And on it goes towards Berahino, and Joe Hart gathers. Well, it's a very different game. Since City hit the front, West Brom have started to show that they have some good attacking options out there.
I don't think it's a bad thing to try and get out of the ball and just keep moving it. You know, get a feel back into the game. We seem to be trying to score at every attack rather than just keep the ball.
Well, West Brom have won a free kick for offside, and they're going to make another change in a minute. Just seeing who's about to come on for them. Final instructions are being given. They're going to make a change imminently, but they have it with Sessegnon. Inside City territory, outside it goes to Dawson, into the box, and oh well, Berahino, if he was a little bit taller, would have made it 2-2.
We've got to get Nasri off the pitch. Look, the overload on the side there. Nasri's out of the game. Got to get cover on that side, because Kodarov's just getting exposed now time and time again. And that just seems to me such an obvious change. You know, just get Ferrandinho on and play him out on the left-hand side. And I think they'll probably do it. I'd be surprised if they don't, because they're causing us no end of problem there, because Sammy's legs are gone. He's tired.
Well, they're going to make a change, West Bromwich Albion. One of their youngsters, Jonathan Lecco, is coming on. And Stefan Sessegnon, I suppose you call him one of their veterans, coming off. The man who put West Brom in front a long, long time ago. It's by no means the first time that Lecco has been involved. He's young, he's dynamic, he's quick, and he will cause Manchester City a threat, that is for sure. He's made 3 appearances this season for West Bromwich Albion, and he's certainly got a lot of dynamism about him. City have it though with Navas in the right wing position. He loses out, but he wins it back. Now with Toure on halfway. Plays it back to Otamendi. Otamendi to Mangala inside the last 10 minutes of the Etihad. Kolarov on towards Nasri. Nasri turns, plays it to Kolarov. City advancing. Kolarov on. De Bruyne is in an offside position, which is why I think he gave up on it. And West Brom concede a throw.
I just think Kolarov should have let that go. I think he should just, once he drives inside now, once he's got that there, I just think he should let his left foot go. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in an offside position, Kevin De Bruyne, but he gave up on it. Kolarov now in the left wing position. He loses out to Fletcher. Fletcher plays it to Gardner. Gardner intervenes, was Fernando, as he tried to play it to Lecco. It breaks for Toure inside West Brom territory. Now with Nasri. Nasri back to Toure again, and Toure slows it all down by playing it back to Otamendi. City 2, West Brom 1, 8.5 minutes to go. Here's Aguero just around about the centre circle. Gets away from McCauley. Plays it out wide to Nasri. Nasri to the edge of the penalty area. Inside the penalty area, Nasri bends it wide.
Yeah, clever. Use the defender as a shield and then try to bend it into the far corner. But we have to be careful here now, because at times now they've gone like a 4-2-4, and we have to get our fullbacks tucked in, or we're going to leave ourselves really exposed. Great bit of play from Nasri. Just a little bit more bend, he scores. But the keeper's getting nowhere near that.
Well, West Brom have had a couple of chances to level the count. City have had a couple of opportunities to get their third goal. And West Brom have conceded 3 times against City in each of the last 5 Premier League meetings between the two sides. But they've won a free kick, I would say, round about 30 yards from goal. Very, very central. And Gardner, I fancy, will have a go at this.
I think he's won the free kick more than been, and then Otamendi giving away a free kick. You know, he's just fell to ground, clever, and a poor referee for me, who swallows things like that too easy. You know, it's just, you know, you just tell the player to get up. There's nothing wrong with him. There's no contact there. He's won the foul. He's conned the ref, and to be fair, for me, he is a very weak referee.
Well, it's a free kick. Gardner is winding up as if he's going to hit it. Does seem some way from goal, but Gardner does fancy this. And he hits it, and Joe Hart tips it over the bar. He hit it in such a way where he hit across the ball, and it sort of wobbled in midair. and it needed helping over. And West Brom have another corner. And it'll be an in-swinger from Gardner. And there are 5 big players waiting to time their runs, but it's going to be cleared as far as Aguero. Aguero holds it up. Still with Aguero. Brilliant from Aguero. Plays it in field to Fernando. Out wide it goes to Kolarov. Inside West Brom territory. Fernando to Nasri. Nasri to Toure. Toure sweeps it out wide to Zabaleta.
Looks like Sergio's struggling.
Well, that is the last thing you want to see ahead of such a big game on Tuesday
He's had a
night.
couple of little taps on the toes and a couple of little niggles, hasn't he? So, you know, let's get him off the pitch and get him iced up, ready for Tuesday.
Well, he's got the ball. I don't think he wanted it, and he's played it out wide to Zabaleta. And now to Navas. Navas in the right wing position, plays it. No, he doesn't. He dummies. Now he plays it. Kevin De Bruyne infield to Toure. Toure outside to Nasri. Nasri's popping up all over the place at the moment. Infield it goes to Gardner, who tries to get away from Kolarov. Free kick to West Bromwich Albion, round about the centre circle. Aguero is in big trouble, actually. He really is hopping about. Looks as though it's an impact rather than a muscle pull.
Yeah, I think he had a couple of them, and maybe it's just one too many. But the manager doesn't seem to be doing anything to counter it, so I'm not sure what he's looking at, because Sergio can't run now in behind.
Well, surely
you just put a Nacho on, surely.
Yeah, absolutely. Kolarov, meanwhile, heads it back to Joe Hart, who keeps the ball from going out for a corner. There doesn't seem to be any sign of a substitution for City. And Aguero is labouring quite badly now. Well, I'm not sure what's going on out there. Aguero's hopping about. We've got one of the biggest games in Manchester City history on Tuesday night. And Aguero needs to come off.
And there's 86 minutes gone.
Well, either Manuel Pellegrini's asked him if he's okay and Aguero said yes, or he's just not seen it. Anyway, Toure tries to win it back for City. Nasri plays it out wide to Kolarov. Kolarov is in a foot race now. Kolarov keeps on going. Still Alexander Kolarov. What a run this is. Into the penalty area he goes. Kolarov! Side netting.
Great energy this stage in the game. But Samir's just dropped back in. But we need to really shore it up now for these last 4 or 5 minutes.
Well, I can't quite work out why Sergio Aguero is still out on the field. He must have seen it, surely, Manuel Pellegrini.
Yeah, but as you said, maybe he's asked him and he said he's all right, but...
Away by Otamendi, up towards Nasri, headed away by Sandro. Into the path of Lecco. Lecco in the right wing position, faced by Kolarov. Lecco to the edge of the penalty area. His cross is a good one. Joe Hart punches it away, and Toure completes the job. Nasri now on towards De Bruyne. De Bruyne infield towards Toure, but it breaks for West Brom, and here's Gardner. Gardner in towards the run of Berahino, and it's a Manchester City throw. Well, this game isn't won, that is for sure. Oh, now there's a change. Clichy's coming on.
I think he needs to just drop in and double up as a winger on the left-hand side to help Kolarov, who's just been exposed time and time again. Why it takes 15-20 minutes to actually see that, I don't know.
Well, Sergio Aguero is hobbling off the field of play. Do you get the impression that a couple of days of ice and he'll be all right for Tuesday?
Yeah, he's just got a few kicks on his ankles and down his Achilles tendons that, you know, the referee can't spot. Look, he's just caught one there now. If you just watch that, he's just down the back of his ankle, which is a nasty one again. He'll ice that up and he'll be fine for Tuesday. He's Argentinian, they're tough lads then.
Well, he's taking his time to get off the field because he's labouring quite badly.
Nasri up front, and as I said, Clichy just go into a left wing position, tuck in narrow.
Yep. Well, I imagine there'll be at least 3 minutes of added time, so let's assume there's 4 minutes to go here at the Etihad Stadium, and City need to protect these 3 points.
Yeah, I think they've got into, Kolarov just going to play on that left-hand side, and Clichy's gone into left back.
Well, Samir Nasri is now the centre forward, and to be fair, I think he'll probably try and enjoy himself. Aguero making his way off the field, down the tunnel, and straight onto the treatment table for, well, it's 3 days, I suppose, between now and kick-off time on Tuesday night. So he's got 72 hours to recover. But City have just conceded a free kick in fairly dangerous area. 4 minutes of added time is on the fourth official's board. And West Brom have a free kick on the right edge of the City penalty area. It's not a shooting position, but they can send all their big players forward. Macaulay, Dawson, Evans, Chester, anyone they like really. Well, Chester's now dropped back, so Evans is in there, Sandro's in there, Fletcher's in there. Gardner will swing it in. City have got defending to do here. Gardner's delivery, Otamendi can't reach it, Mangala does.
Great header from Mangala, fantastic.
It was. Up it goes towards the halfway line. Chester heads it forward. Clichy clears it. Up goes De Bruyne, and it's a Manchester City throw, and it's 10 yards inside their own half, and they will take as long as they possibly can over delivering it.
Yeah, let's give him credit. You know, it's a defensive header. He's a defender. It's what he does, just centre half. And, you know, in an important moment in the game, it's a fantastic header Joe just blew with this.
Well, I can't remember Joe Hart making a save today, has he?
No, there's been a couple of the last
crosses.
one that came in, that he's punched out. But not had a great deal today to do.
Yeah, City have made quite a hard job of this match, but edging closer to a vital 3 points. Here's Kevin De Bruyne, outside it goes to Kolarov. Kolarov can't get beyond his man. West Brom have it with Lecco. Lecco out of play, Manchester City throw. Oh, in fact, it's a free kick, and West Brom will have a free kick in the right back position.
No, it's a throw. Is he good?
Oh,
no,
is
he's
it?
good the free kick. I mean,
I thought we
so
gave a free
he's
kick.
been. Mike Jones, just remember the name. I don't think he'll be around here for long in the Premier League. Ali, he really is poor, you know. And I look at and I think to myself, has he ever challenged for a header? Has he ever ran into a tackle? And I don't think he has. You know, the things he gives baffles me at times. And it's not just today's game. It's been many games like that.
Well, West Brom have launched it into Manchester City territory, and they've got plenty forward. West Brom, Lecco in the right wing position. Clichy makes the challenge. Lecco gets beyond him. Clichy emerges with the ball. Here's Fletcher keeping it alive. Nasri wins it back, and here's Kolarov who thumps it forward, and Navas gives chase, and De Bruyne gives chase, and it's a good header by Evans, and it's thumped away. West Brom have it with Sandro, who loses out to Nasri, and Fernando guides it back, and Otamendi thumps it forward, and De Bruyne has it in an area where City want it to be, deep inside West Brom territory. West Brom come away with the ball though. and it's played forward by Sandro and outside to Gardner. Gardner in the left wing position, deflection on the cross, it's a corner for West Bromwich Albion. 3rd minute of 4 of added time. City have got to bring everybody back. Foster, the goalkeeper's coming in to make it even more attacking for West Brom. It's the biggest moment of the match. It's a corner to West Brom. Ben Foster's up from the back. City have to defend it. Joe Hart can't get there. It's hit on the volley and wide. What a chance for West Brom. McLean hit the volley. It's a foot wide of the post, and with that, City have surely won the match.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, and it's heart to mouth there for everybody around me. You know, and I don't think that would have been that wouldn't be fair on the team, because we have been better than these. Let's have a look at this again. Oh my, yes.
It's a foot.
It's a foot. Now there's the whistle. 3 points, exactly what we needed. Brilliant. Positives out of it. Nasri, fantastic, done really well today. You know, been really pleased with him, and you know, it just shows what we've missed for most of this, for most of the season. Done great.
Well, Andy, it's been one of those afternoons where it doesn't matter how they've done it, they've done it.
It's that time of season, you know, and we spoke about it earlier on. You know, the thought of us dropping out of if United beat Spurs and going to 5th at this time of the season, with also going into such a big game, you know, and again, this carries on the momentum that we've got from the Bournemouth game, the PSG game. We've got over the line again today, like, you know, and I just think it's such an important period for us now going into that game, and now I feel really, really enthusiastic about Tuesday night. I think, you know, with a full out here and everybody buzzing, Sergio Wright, you know, Ferrandinho has to be in the team for me because of his energy. Yaya's back again, so it just shows if we need to change things around, we've got the personnel to do it, and really positive moment for me.
Well, City had to come from behind. Sessegnon giving West Bromwich Albion the early lead. An equaliser from Sergio Aguero from the penalty spot. And then Samir Nasri tapping in the winner. And he was named man of the match as well. His first 90 minutes since August, and a big boost for City for their remaining Premier League fixtures. Just to put this into perspective, City are now 2 points behind Arsenal. They're 4 points above Manchester United and 5 points above West Ham United. And they are looking a little bit more secure now in the top 4 as a result of this victory. Tomorrow, Manchester United travel to Spurs, and next weekend, City are away at Chelsea. So it really does show, Andy Morrison, what a vital victory this is.
Yeah, it's huge win. And I think, you know, when we look at De Bruyne coming back into the team and what he gives us, you know, if we could have company back within the next 10 days to 2 weeks going into that final period, and keep him fit and keep them fit for the remainder of the season, it can be a really, really good end to the season. And who knows, you know, why not dream that we can get past PSG and then, you know, maybe get a favourable draw if there's one left in the semi-final. Why not? You know, because we've had so many ups and downs this season and so many false starts where we thought, you know, it's the beginning of something great, and then we've fallen away and disappointed in the league and come up short in the FA Cup, and you know, for reasons that were probably out of our hands, because we had to balance the squad at the time. We had so many injuries. So, you know, it could be a really, really positive end to the season, and there's little signs at the moment that we're just starting to find that our big players are coming back at the right time, and we look like we can create chances, and we can look like we can be a force for any game. We've got to play Arsenal, we're only 2 points behind them, you know, so the third position is still in our grasp.
The interesting thing is, as debilitating as all these injuries have been for City, they've now got Nasri back, feeling fresh.
Yep.
De Bruyne, after the best part of 2 or 3 months out,
Yep.
feeling fresh. You know, those kind of players can make such a difference in these last, 6 Premier League matches now.
Yeah, Nasri's a world-class performer when he's on his day. You know, he probably, we haven't seen enough of the magical performances from him. But you know, at this period of the season, we're going to need them players that can do something slightly different. Yeah, we need our energy from Fernando and Ferrandinho and Navas, but we still need that little bit of cleverness, you know. And I don't know how long David Silva's going to be out, but Nasri does give us something different. And you know, and De Bruyne, as you said, you know, 10 weeks out, I'm sure they would have worked hard, the pair of them, while they were injured, but it's still that, you know, the mental focus side of it. They've been able to step away from that for a bit and then come back recharged now. And you know, De Bruyne is going to want to be at the top of his game going into the Euros. So yeah, really really promising moment for us.
I have to say also, Andy, that there were times today when City looked a little bit not rocky, but not quite watertight at the back. Were you concerned about things defensively today?
I do. You know, we are vulnerable when we lose the ball. It's the way we play. You know, when I see opposition play against us, and you know, they have, you know, there are at times West Brom at a back six. You know, because the wingers are actually tucking back in and making a six. Then they have a three in front who shuffle and work hard. We don't have that. You know, we're always on the front foot. We're always trying to score. So when we actually lose the ball, at times, you know, we need pace and good legs in our team to recover, and Fernandinho gives that. Fernando again is another positive today. Been really pleased with him over the last 2 or 3 weeks. You know, everybody's you know, want our players to do well when they come in, and especially with a reasonable price tag around his head, and you know, he came with a reputation, and for me again over the last, you know, maybe month, 6 weeks, he's done really well, and I'm really pleased with him.
Just one thought about Fernando. It was a huge error on Wednesday night that led to that goal. Big test of character, and you know, he didn't look as though it had weighed on his mind.
No, not fazed him at all, I don't think. You know, I thought his energy was great. I thought his work rate was great. Really pleased for him, you know, because to come through that, and for me, he wasn't at fault. You know, I don't know why Joe would give him the ball there. There was no need for it at that period in the game. You know, you manage the game in certain situations, and he got it wrong, like, you know. But like I say, him and Fernando and Fernandinho over this last few, you know, weeks of the season are going to be massive for us, because we have so much energy and so much quality going forward. To actually then, when we lose the ball, we need players who can get around the park, and them two are as good as anything in the Premier League.
Okay, well, we are still waiting to hear from one of the City players. We're hoping to get an interview, of course, with one of the players. We're definitely going to get the Manuel Pellegrini press conference. We're also going to get the views from City Square as well. So there's plenty to stay with us for. But for the moment, from the commentary position, from myself and from Andy Morrison, thank you for your contributions today. We'll just take a small break just at the moment. We will be joining all the events going on in City Square, and we'll have the thoughts of the manager as well. So do stay with us. But for the moment, from myself and Andy, City 2, West Brom 1. City have closed the gap on 4th, increased the gap on 5th. It's been a good day.
Coming here today thinking, well, why are we not doing this more often, and why have we not maybe picked up more points? But the performance from City, I mean, we created chances. I thought we had good width. I think we got good balls in the box. We just didn't really seem to have that kind of connection up front where, you know, these balls were going in and no one was around them. But as you said there, Hugh, this was all about getting 3 points. The fact that the teams around us at the top are all playing each other, the top, you know, Tottenham United and West Ham and Arsenal, all playing each other. If we can get a couple of draws with them games and win, it's a huge win. Yeah. So the manner of the victory, I'm not really bothered about. You know, the fact is we've got them 3 points on the board, not played particularly well. Another positive you can look at is we've gone 1 goal down again in a game, and this time, like we did, you know, against we were a goal down in France midweek, and we pulled it back, got a draw out of it. Today we've turned a 1-0 deficit around and won 2-1. So there's a positives in there. Another massive positive, and he got man of the match today, was Samir Nasri. I thought Nasri was absolutely fantastic. I mean, when we were kind of crying out for that creative player when David Silva's not playing, that is the kind of person we want to see. Nasri was linking up play, but what he was also doing, he was grafting for the team. You saw him there at the end of that game. He was the one putting them challenges in, winning the ball back, and absolutely rightly scored the winning goal and got man of the match. So, yeah, not kind of an amazing performance. I probably won't watch it on Match of the Day, but I'm going to be sitting looking at the table thinking, massive 3 points.
Yeah, and if there's any momentum garnered from what you saw on Wednesday night. It's been continued here, albeit just with the 3 points, because that winning feeling, particularly for City, hasn't been coming late. I think it's not since October that they've won back-to-back Premier League games. So actually, that's quite a big deal getting that result today.
Yeah, and exactly like Danny said there, today the performance didn't matter, the result mattered, the 3 points really mattered today. And West Brom put up a good fight there, and it could easily, you know, have been a draw, God forbid, gone the other way. So coming out of this today with 3 points and with the other games that are taking place this weekend, I feel really pleased with that. I'm still feeling very confused about what I want to happen in the game tomorrow with Tottenham and United. I never ever want them to ever win, but are we looking up or are we looking back? I just don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but today the 3 points for us was everything, and Danny put a load of positive spin on it there for a game that was pretty dull for large portions of it, and considering how cold it was, that game certainly didn't warm you up or give you any reason to feel warm. But Danny put loads of positives on it there, particularly Samir Nasri, and I thought, Danny took the words out of my mouth, grafted today. Grafting and Samir Nasri isn't often 2 words that go in a sentence together today, but today that man grafted. He was up and down, he was tracking back, he was defending, he was supporting. I just thought he was brilliant today, and for a man, you know, that he isn't playing in the Champions League, he's not in the squad, he's got 6 games left now. Is he playing for his future Manchester City career? He knows that we've got a new manager coming in the summer. He's barely played all season, he's not started a game since September, you know, he's had these horrible injuries. Is this a man now with 6 games in the Premier League that's going to play like that and play for his future at this club? I hope so.
Well, we were all blaming Danny for bringing up that stat about the fact that West Brom had not had a shot on target rather in the last 2 games, because their first shot on target came today, and it was a goal. So Sessegnon, let's have a look at West Brom going ahead. It was just in the 6th minute that this happened. So you can kind of use the old adage that if you are going to concede early, you've got 84 minutes to get back into the game. But the ball comes in, and I don't think many people inside the stadium were thinking much was going to come from this, but he controlled it well into his path, hit a stinging half volley. But Joe Hart beaten at his near post, Alexander Kolarov not necessarily getting himself very much in the way of that ball. And yes, they did score early, and it did give City a chance to get back in the game, but it's a little bit disappointing, bearing in mind what a wonderful game Joe Hart had in Paris to let one in the near post.
Yeah, I think if you're going to have a slight criticism at times of Joe Hart, it is to his left. He does seem to kind of miss things that I would look at, shots that I would look at he should really be saving, but down to his left. It's harsh a little bit to criticise him too much, because the ball comes through Kolarov's legs. It's a, you know, slippy pitch, and the power that he hit it with, you know, yeah, he should have saved it, but I'm not going to chastise him because we know how good Joe Hart is and how many points Joe Hart has won us over the course of the season. So he's got a blip there. As a team, we've got away with it. We've won the game. We can forget about this game now, put it to bed, and really, really focus on Tuesday night, which is just going to be amazing here. I hope the atmosphere's the kind of atmosphere that we've seen in the past against Hamburg, and I believe it's almost sold out, or it's pretty much sold out now. So full house. Can't wait for that.
It's also just worth noting on the first goal, no excuse whatsoever because the finish is incredible. But in the build-up to the goal, the referee gets in Samir Nasri's way. You know, Fernando passing to Nasri, who's running and runs into the referee. The referee gets in his way. That's how that passage of play starts for West Brom. Not that that's any excuse though, because the finish is incredible. But I don't often say it on this stage, but I do think the officials had a poor game today, and that was an indication of it 6 minutes in.
Yeah, complete reversal, about 12 minutes later as well, when Sessegnon proved that not necessarily the best defenders are diminutive French wingers, but he brought down Alexander Kolarov in the box. This is worth 2 or 3 views, because it's interesting to see where the contact took place, because it's not where you think it might be. He lunged, he reached for the ball, did Sessegnon. He doesn't get anything off the ball, and the knee of Kolarov, right knee, goes into the right thigh. And so, what do you think, guys? Enough to take him down, as Sergio Aguero dispatches this beautifully into the side netting, but enough of a penalty for you?
In my opinion, just about. I think it's the kind of penalty decision that if you get it, you feel you deserve it. If you don't get it, you feel you've been hard done to. And I think there is enough on the kind of contact on the knee against Kolarov there that, yeah, he's got the right to go down. And I think from a referee's point of view, that's enough contact to make it. It's soft. It's the modern game, unfortunately, any kind of contact in the area. But, I mean, you look at Kolarov, he's running at kind of full pelt there. So any kind of touch or clip, he is going to go down. The ball doesn't move, so he's not made any contact with the ball, which I think is what probably from the referee's angle, he's looking at whether that ball's made any movement, and it hasn't. So therefore, he's cut across Kolarov. There's enough on it, and he deserves to go down. He deserves to get the penalty.
Yeah, I do think he went down easier than he may have done, but I still think it was a penalty. He's right leg, he's got nowhere to go with it. He's not going to sort of half hurdle, you know, the guy's leg. You can't tackle like that in the box unless you are 100% clearing the ball, getting the ball. So I do think it was a penalty, yeah.
And I half hope it wasn't, because the amount of bad decisions around penalties that we've had this season, we are absolutely due on. So if that is one, then I'll happily take it.
The other thing to say about what happened at that point is that City were, I'm sure like you, relieved at what had happened, and also they got the goal back early enough to allow the time that they needed perhaps to get the second goal, because like you said, there weren't a lot of chances, and actually West Brom had quite a few chances, and so I suppose any sort of nerves that had emanated from what had happened over the last few weeks were put to bed, but not before West Brom had these moments. So let's have a look at some of West Brom's chances now and have a look to see just how close they did come, right up until the very end of the game.
What? This is an absolutely ridiculous decision. There's two of them offside, and not by minimal, by about 5 feet. How the assistant referee does not see this is appalling.
This was, it was only about 5 minutes towards the end, wasn't it? And then there was a moment just at the very, very end where it came down from a corner and it was struck wide of the post, and Tony Pulis was completely disbelieving that it hadn't got in. Alistair Mann is here to join us, match commentator, and you always get it right, Ali. You got the hats, the 14 layers. We never get it right, but Alistair does. West Brom were in this game for large parts of it and right up until the very end.
Yeah, they were, and if Berahino had taken the chance that, well, it shouldn't have been a chance because it should have been offside, but had he taken that chance, it would have been 2-2. I don't think this game surprised me. Certainly don't think it surprised anybody. It went exactly how West Brom games do when they're away from home. They set up to pinch a goal, which they did. They set up and said break us down, which City tried to do. And after City went 2-1 up, West Brom came out and nearly got an equaliser. But I was asked pre-match how this would go. I said if City scored twice, they'd win. So maybe I should have backed the right Grand National winner as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's always easy after the fact, Alistair. So let's look at the second goal then for Manchester City. And we've talked about Samir Nasri, haven't we, already? It's always easy to tap in from 2 yards, but look at the build-up here and how much of a difference in the last 2-3 games has Kevin De Bruyne made, because I think these are the moments that Kevin De Bruyne is in the team for, and he did, Alistair, he made a difference in the last 2 games since he's come back from injury. He's just so direct and dynamic, isn't he?
Yeah, I think there isn't a positive in having injuries, but one bizarre positive is that Nasri and De Bruyne are looking as if they're starting the season. And players who can turn matches, obviously Nasri can only play in the Premier League, but City still need points in the Premier League, so it had to have Nasri playing 90 minutes. It's like having a new signing. De Bruyne now can play obviously in the Champions League and the Premier League, so what they've done today made sense. They made 5 changes, one of which is De Bruyne to the bench, who is, as you say, makes a huge difference. And Nasri today's been brilliant. I mean, he looked as though he should come off maybe with about 15 minutes to go. It looked like he was really tiring, and they were looking a bit exposed down his side, down the left, which is why they brought Clichy on to add that little bit of protection. But, you know, City's only advantage in having these injuries, if there is one, is that they can now be fresh for the last 7, well, hopefully, 10 games of the season, whatever it works out for the season. One thing I will say about De Bruyne, actually Touré as well, is that City didn't look like they were going to penetrate West Brom until those 2 came on. And when they did, I thought there was only one winner.
Yeah, we were talking about that, weren't we? Because they just injected a tempo to the game, and as much as Kevin De Bruyne is direct, dynamic, Yaya controls the tempo for City in a way that nobody else really does, and it makes such a difference. And actually, for all the difficulties that City had today in terms of entertainment, you know that on Tuesday night, if they have Yaya Toure and Kevin De Bruyne in the team, it's going to be a different sort of game.
Without doubt. I mean, when them two came on, like Ali said there, they completely changed the flow of the game. And we went from just being a very frustrating, we weren't really getting anything going, particularly going forward. I think the balls were coming in, nobody was there to kind of put the ball in the back of the net, and it just was really, really frustrating. As soon as they come in, Yaya got more of a grip of midfield. De Bruyne's creativity up front, I mean, the move that led to the goal from De Bruyne, it was the ball that he played was just ridiculously good. And we've seen, I mean, when people look back at the real kind of poor season we've had in a lot of respects in the league, people were saying it maybe coincided with the Guardiola announcement. For me, it coincided with Kevin De Bruyne being injured. He's such an influential player on this team. If he's not assisting goals, he's scoring goals. But like we've seen today, he's working hard for the team, and he's always there or thereabouts when a goal is scored. He's always one or two passes involved in that goal being scored. And when you've got a player like that he's just at times he's unplayable. And if he'd have had a full season and a full run at it this season, I think we would be well clear at the top of the league, and I really, really do, because there's not many players like him in the Premier League, and we're very lucky to have him.
Well, let's have a look at the goal that Samir Nasri scored then, shall we? Because it did involve Kevin De Bruyne down the right-hand side. That little ball into Jesus Navas is beautiful, and Navas was on his left foot, probably didn't want to shoot. Then it closed down on Sergio Aguero just at the wrong moment, and a nice easy tap-in for Samir Nasri.
Yeah, I mean, it's a well-worked goal, to be fair. I mean, West Brom are throwing bodies in the way and Foster's brave, but it was a time when City looked like they were going to win, and obviously the goal came from a source that you anticipated. De Bruyne's involvement, Aguero's involvement, and okay, it's a good, an easy finish from Nasri, but he starts to exhibit himself even more. But I think the interesting thing is that before De Bruyne got injured, City were in touching distance of Leicester, and indeed, if they'd have beaten Leicester on that first game in February, they'd have gone top City. So that 2 months in which they've completely given the title to, I say given, to be fair, Leicester have been outstanding, but that gap's opened up while De Bruyne has been absent. And as much as you can talk about company making a difference, and he has not been there, De Bruyne not being there has been a huge miss for City. And that gap that's opened up, it's no coincidence that it's happened while De Bruyne has been injured.
Yeah, let's hear, shall we, from the Manchester City manager, Manuel Pellegrini, who's been speaking post-match.
Manuel, congratulations. In terms of what
big screen in a moment. Here we go. Be interesting to see how much more City had of the possession. I think obviously going 1-0 down at home often increases their possession stats. They would have had a lot of the ball trying to get back in the game. 2 shots on target for West Brom. 1 brought the goal, and that's 2 more than they've had over the last 2 games combined. Attempts 13 each. Interesting to see that was fairly, well, exactly evenly split. Let's roll these on and have a look at what else we've got for you. Alistair, it was a game that I think, like you said at the beginning, was going to be tough. It wasn't necessarily going to be one of those blitzes that you often find at the Etihad Stadium. I think also what was important, that any momentum, we spoke about it before, anything that they garnered from Wednesday night, any sort of positive feeling was not halted here. It was incredibly important that if they were going to maintain it through to next Tuesday, that they got through this one.
Yeah, and of course you mustn't either rule out the fact that next weekend United are going to beat Aston Villa and City are at Stamford Bridge. So, you know, it was vital that they stayed 4 points ahead. If there is a possibility they're not going to get top 4, that would be horrendous for this club. So there was a big victory today, but talking about momentum is a big thing. They beat Bournemouth in a fantastic display. They were great at times in Paris. They've continued that at times today. But one thing I'll say about Tuesday is if there's less than 4 goals in that match, I'll be gobsmacked. It just depends who gets the 3 and who gets the 1. I'm not going to discount that game ending 4-3 or something, because one thing that I've watched Paris Saint-Germain an awful lot this season. I've seen them in the Champions League. I've seen them in the French League where they've been unchallenged. They are poor at the back. And every player in that back 4 wants to go forward. They're all natural ball players. Thiago Silva's the most natural defensive player, but even he wants to go the other way. Kevin Trapp has been the centre of errors like you wouldn't believe this season, and when he's put under pressure, he does make errors. So in retreat, there's going to be chances for City, but the way that's front 6 play, City are going to have to defend a lot better. I guarantee you, Tuesday night there'll be a minimum of 4 goals. I might even stick my neck out and say it'll be 4-3 City, because it's that kind of match. Why it's not a sellout Tuesday, I'm not sure. Because
nearly there.
Because it's going to be an incredible night, and from what I saw tonight, De Bruyne, Toure, when they came on, City are going to score goals, and unfortunately, I think they're going to concede 1 or 2 as well, so we'll see.
Yeah, well, like we said at the beginning of today's programme, it's all about the battle of who's the worst defence, perhaps. Let's have a look at the league table, shall we? Because it's very interesting to see, particularly up at the top, where we will get to in just a moment, what will happen tomorrow and next weekend, as Alistair was mentioning. Villa all but down now, almost mathematically. West Brom, 13th position, but again, with the 40 points, they'll be very happy with how they sit at the moment. And as we go up into the top 7, West Ham, during today, keeps them now 5 points between them and City. United are 4 points back, but play tomorrow at Spurs. So City looking upwards. There's 2 points to Arsenal, and there's currently 5 to Spurs. So yes, like Natalie said earlier, who do you want to win at White Hart Lane tomorrow? Are you looking up, or are you looking down? Depending on what happens over the next 24 hours, it may well decide it for you.
Well, personally, Hugh, I'm still looking down. I think it's so important we finish in that top 4, whether that's 3rd or 4th at this stage. I'm not really bothered. I think the difference between finishing 2nd and 3rd to me is irrelevant in terms of if you're going to win the league, fantastic. If you're not going to win the league, you just need to make sure you're finishing one of them, hopefully them 2nd or 3rd spot. But again, if it's a draw, it kind of opened things up a little bit more both ways. So I think when you look at the game tomorrow at United and Tottenham, I don't think there's a bad result to some degree. I mean, if there's a home win away, it kind of keeps everything in the boiling pot a little bit. And like Ali said there, you know, we're going to Chelsea next week. That's not going to be easy. You know, it's going to be very, very difficult, although they didn't have a good result today. So, and one thing I was just going back to today's game, though, I'm really pleased about is we've got this back-to-back win stat away from us now. You know, the amount of times in the media they keep saying we've not won back-to-back games since October or September, whatever it was. I'm glad that little silly, horrible stat that's hanging over us is out of the way now. Hopefully we can go to the Bridge next week in the Premier League, get a result, and like Ali says, United are going to win Villa, so if we don't, it's getting all tight again. So
Can you just let us know if you want to ask a question? That'd be great. Thank you.
Manuel, you made many changes to your team tonight, but do you feel there was maybe a reaction with tiredness from the game against Paris Saint-Germain?
Well, yes, we did some changes for different reasons. I think that I spoke with all the players in the way they feel that to play this game, and we needed to win, and we win the game. We won the game. That for me is the most important thing.
Manuel,
is everyone okay after that? Did you pick up any injuries? Does Aguero take a knock at the end?
No, Kun had just a kick, but it's not a problem for Tuesday.
sorry about that. You must be very pleased for Samir. You know, he scored a goal. It's his first goal since September, I think. First starts in September, or rather, first goal since August.
Yes, very happy for him because he was very unlucky to have that kind of injuries. Very strange to have 6 months with a muscle injury, but he cut absolutely the muscle. He had to have surgery. So he was working very well. He returned sooner as the doctor expect. So I'm very happy for him. That I was also impressed that he played the 90 minutes because so many months without playing. But was a very important player. I'm very happy for him.
I mean, you didn't add him in a Euro squad, I take it, because you didn't think he'd be fit enough, or he'd be back this early, I guess.
Well, we expected at the beginning that he was going to come back now, yes, at the middle of April. It was near the doctor said. But we needed to play the Champions League before in February, and we had in that moment just Kun as a striker. Boni was injured, so it was important to include Kelechi, so Samir Nasri must stay out. But I think that he's not able also to play 3 days, in 3 days more. It was a lot of injuries, so it's very important the participation that he will have in the Premier League that we must fight till the end.
It's a victory that keeps you in control of 4th place, but given that Arsenal dropped points today, are you now looking up rather than over your shoulders?
We are always looking up before that, behind our shoulder. I think that I always said that you must try to continue to be as near the top of the table as you can. As you said, this for me was a very important game because they played together. They played between them. The 4 teams that are involved with us in those positions of the table. Just draw Arsenal, West Ham, and tomorrow play Tottenham with Manchester United. So it depends on the result. It's important to our team. I repeat, to try to always look forward and always think that you can do it better.
How important was it, Manuel, to win before Tuesday as well?
Very important because it was our target, as I just said, to win the 3 points. It was very difficult for me to choose the starting 11 for different reasons. Players that had some problem, players that were tired, players like Yaya that just worked 2 days, so Samir Nasri was coming from Delph, that both of them had to play together after so many months without playing. So with so many difficult things, we play against a team that was not fighting for nothing, so he was very quiet, they defend very well, they start winning. So a lot of things that for me are important, but most of all the 3 points.
Any more, guys? Thank you.
Well, thank you for watching us here on City TV Live. In particular, if you've been joining us through YouTube, then let us know your thoughts on the show. Tweet us at NCFC using the hashtag CityTV Live. Our next home game is against Stoke. We will certainly be back for that, so we hope to see you then.